Well, hello there. It is I, the drinker. It's time for another Superchat catch-up. Yeah, I did a great stream last week. I just thought it was going to be a simple, like, AMA almost. And damn, just an absolute shit ton of questions came my way, and there's no way I could get through all the Superchats. And then I went off for a family event up in Inverness to get pretty fucked up for a couple of days, which was great fun. And then as soon as I got back at the weekend, I ended up going to my mate's house in Dundee for a night out there. And I'm still nursing the hangover from that, if I'm honest with you. Like, next time someone offers you a zombie cocktail, just say no, because it'll make your life a lot better. Trust me. Jesus Christ. But yeah, anyway, so I'm drinking a soft drink for now to get me back on track. Jesus. Anyway, how the fuck is everyone tonight? Hopefully we've got a nice little crew in this evening. I know I've got my mods doing their usual great job. Thank you to all of you guys. And yeah, like, just to echo what I said at the start, thank you to all the people who sent so many generous super chats last week. I will endeavor to get through all of them tonight because I'm very aware that I've got like an open bar stream on Thursday. We're going to be having Gundam and Nerdrotic and hopefully Shadiversity on as well. So should be a full house. And I'm sure we'll have opportunities to talk about all the great stuff going on in Lord of the Rings. That's just one big old shit show that keeps rolling onwards. Yeah, caffeine at 9 p.m. I need it, honestly. I've had 2 espressos earlier on and they did absolutely fuck all. So either I've got like a 3-day hangover or I've got the Rona. Who knows? Anyway. Yeah, let's have a look and see where we got to with the super chats the other day. Off Genity V2 said to me, the drinker recommends Master and Commander. When are you going to do the review? Yes, I'm absolutely going to review Master and Commander because it's a great movie and it was obviously set up like it was going to be part of like a trilogy or something, and it never happened. I don't know how that movie didn't do well at the cinema because, yeah, it was great fun. You don't get many films like that anymore, like these proper, like, old school naval warfare movies that are just, like classic stories. I guess they were based on a series of books. I guess there's not enough strong female characters in them. I look half dead. That's just because of the shitty lighting in here. Like, it makes me look like I'm dying. But if I sit back a little bit, I get a little bit more complexion. Do I have to sit back here? Then you can't hear me. Anyway, I'll try and balance it out. But yeah, I can assure you, I'm not fully dead. So I've got enough. I've got enough life in me to keep doing this at least. Have I watched Attack on Titan? I have not seen that yet. No. Right. Drinker, you're fucking awesome. Tatiana doesn't deserve you. I mean, I tell her that all the time, but she just keeps saying, please release me from this cage. I'm like, shh, quiet, don't tell anyone. Anyway, let me see. What was the next one? Because there's like a million of these I need to try and get through. Sir Atzlik said, have you seen the Almighty Lol's Berserk Saga vids? He analyzes the manga step by step. You can read the manga and listen to his vid for maximum experience. Could be a great candidate for a guest too. No, that sounds great. I mean, if I get around to watching Berserk, to bring in a guy like that to talk about it, that'd be a great idea. Farewell Thunderchild said, Vox is on the show. My boxer's elastic just snapped. Yes, we're going to have Vox's Productions on. Not this week, obviously, because we're doing an open bar, but next week. So that should be good. Next week will be a busy one, actually, because I've got Sam Jones, the guy who played Flash Gordon, coming in on Tuesday, I think, to talk about Flash Gordon. So pretty cool dude, and he does loads of convention appearances and stuff, and he's happy to come on my channel and do an interview. So that should be good. So that'll be on Tuesday. And then I'm going to have Vox's Productions on Thursday, and we're going to talk about the Fellowship of the Ring. What's not to like? Anyway, what's next? The Egg Shen. Brilliant name. I love your work. Have you watched any anime that you've enjoyed? Especially curious about Black Lagoon and what have you been reading lately? So, Yeah, anime that I've enjoyed. I'm watching Cowboy Bebop, which is great fun. I've said before, I've enjoyed quite a lot of the Studio Ghibli movies. Like I've enjoyed Castle in the Sky. Princess Mononoke was great. Howl's Moving Castle. Yeah, all of those movies really good. I really love Metropolis. That's like an anime from 2002. I think that was. All great movies and TV shows. So yeah, just slowly getting into it, I suppose. Yeah, I haven't seen Black Lagoon, I'm afraid, so I couldn't tell you about that. Brett Harmony asked, love your videos. Have you seen Peacemaker? If so, what are your thoughts? No, I haven't seen Peacemaker yet because I just finished off All of Us Are Dead, which is great. I'll be doing a review of that. And I'm going to watch Jack Reacher because it's a show everyone keeps telling me to watch, and apparently it's meant to be really good. So, yeah, I'm going to give Reacher a go as well. Just trying to find the time for everything, I suppose. Oh, there's a question here. Yeah, what's your opinion on Equilibrium? It's quite a good movie. Obviously, the gunplay and the action scenes and stuff are decent. Yeah, I like the premise of it. You know, obviously, a kind of sanitized society where emotion is outlawed. It's an interesting concept. Yeah, it'd be a good movie to rewatch, I think, because it was a long time ago when I watched it. Like, I wasn't really seeing it as a reviewer. I was just a casual viewer who was like a teenager at the time. What's it like living in Scotland? It's a bit like living in Chernobyl, but there's a few more people around. Yeah, Scotland. I mean, in the summertime, it's nice if you go up into the Highlands. It's scenic, but yeah, in the winter, it's just fucking grim, man. Yeah, Hassan Chowdhury asked me, hello from Scotland, drinker. Hey, fellow Scottish person, well done. Did you hear about the Peacemaker show not knowing about the source material? Fuck's sake. No, I didn't hear about that. I wouldn't be surprised, though. Convexed said, thoughts on Peacemaker and Jurassic World trailer? Yeah, so like I say, I haven't seen Peacemaker yet. I've given you my thoughts on the Jurassic World trailer. Yeah, that seems like another shit show in the making. I mean, I've just got no respect for this new trilogy of Jurassic Park movies. It's just remaking the original. It's just telling the exact same fucking story again. Don't understand the reason for doing it apart from making more money, I guess. Yeah, Fallen Kingdom was shite, and I don't expect Dominion to be much better. Wreck the Hull says, I've been working on the story for my indie comic book series for a while, but there's a problem. I'm nobody online. Any advice? Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not sure what to suggest in that case. Yeah, maybe try and get a publisher for your comic book, first of all, and see what you can do there. But yeah, it's not an easy industry to break into, I would imagine. Just like becoming an author, I suppose you just have to hope that someone's going to spot you, whether it's an agent or a publisher. Steppenwolf says, come at me, bro. Tell me where you're at, bro, and I'll find you. Farewell Thunderchild says, did catch my chat from before you went live, mate. Oh, I'll need to have a look back. That'll be like 10 hours ago. Yeah, if you're on the stream tonight, Farewell Thunderchild, just ask me what you're going to ask, and then I'll try and answer it here. I'll keep an eye on chat for a few seconds to see if you're in. Hey, greetings from Bears Den in Glasgow. Check you, posh bastard. What's the next one? Oh, wait, here's a good question, actually. King Tudor, do you have a job outside of YouTube? Nah, they just keep firing me from things. But yeah, I suppose like being an author is my other job. So yeah, that's what I do in between making YouTube videos. But yeah, between those two things, that's enough to keep me plenty busy. Oh, what's my drink of choice? It's fucking tough to think about alcohol tonight, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, what would it be? So for beers, probably Innocent Gun, which is a lager from Edinburgh, actually. I think that's where they brew it. It's really fucking good. Or failing that, Birra Moretti or Peroni. Like, all of those beers are perfectly fine for me. For whiskey, probably Lagavulin. It's probably the best one I know of. Highland Park's really good as well. What's the next one? I'm just keeping an eye out. Care if Farewell Thunderchild is going to send his message again. Can't see it. Yeah, as for vodka, don't really care. Russian Standard will do me. Yeah, and for cocktails, I had quite a few Negronis at the weekend because I really like them. I don't like any of the sweet fucking cocktails. I like it bitter, just like me. So yeah, something like that. Or if you're starting to flag, I highly recommend espresso martini. That'll perk you right up. So that's probably my recommendations. Excuse me. Right, I better get back on track with these super chats. Cardboard Chef says, Drinker, I've recently started your Ryan Drake series, and holy shit, man, what a great read. Look forward to getting through the rest. Cheers. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Mark Cook says, hey, Drinker, have you watched Succession? Any comments? I have not, my friends. Not yet. Bobby Bailey said, have you seen The Last Kingdom? Thoughts? Yeah, I started watching it. I just never quite got into it. I think I got about 3 or 4 episodes in. And yeah, it just kind of didn't quite grab me. I guess it was a bit like Vikings. So yeah, I just never quite got into it. Craig Road Jr. said, hey, Drunk, Raised by Wolves is amazing. Thoughts? Yeah, I've heard good things about that. Haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I've heard a lot of people praise it. So yeah, it's definitely one to add to the list. Ged Billow says, Gomorrah final series is brilliant until the last episode. Great show, Drinker. I'm on the beach, Brown. Nice. Shane Cup says, watch Dark on Netflix, quality sci-fi. Okay, fair dues, mate. Patrick Clark said, have you seen The Wire? If not, why? If so, where's the review? Yeah, I think with The Wire, there was just so much to get through. You know, I think I came into it late, and knowing that there was like so many episodes I need to watch to catch up on it, I think it just put me off. Sometimes you just kind of, you don't quite catch a show when it comes out, and you know, you just never get back into it. What's next? Yeah, interesting. Reacher looks formulaic. I mean, you know, the books kind of are, but I guess that's their selling point. They're just like solid thrillers, I guess. But yeah, I'll give it a go. The Green Renegade said, Drinker, you dashing man. Have you ever seen the Netflix original movie Moxie? It's the absolute embodiment of everything wrong with Hollywood. Moxie? Nah. Let me see that. Moxie. I'm not going to watch it right now, but just give me a flavor of what it's about. All right. So, it's directed by Amy Poehler. Right, it's about 16-year-old Vivian, played by Haley Robinson, who starts a feminist zine to empower the young women in her school as they contend with bullying, sexual harassment, and the R word. Fuck that. Nah. You've lost me. I don't think I'd even subject myself to that just to slate it. Just sounds like shit. Yeah, there we go. The Message, the best description. Yeah, The King's Man. I started watching that today, actually. I'm about halfway through it and liking it so far. I love the setting and everything. Definitely quite goofy with the, you know, working in all the real life historical figures and stuff. And yeah, obviously the bad guy's a Scottish guy because, you know, we're all evil. But yeah, I like the cast. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it ends. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reviewing that too. The Lucker Auntie said, hello, Mr. One Drinker to rule them all. Have you heard about Bud Spencer and Terence Hill? They're Italian actors from the 70s. They made some unique and fun movies and are well known in Eastern Europe. I'm not too familiar with them over here. I don't know if they made such an impact in the West. But no, fair play, man. Stretchy Hulk says, we're getting in the States a 50th anniversary of The Godfather theatrical release. Have you spoken of the film or series? And if so, what are your thoughts? Yeah, Mahler and I kind of discussed it on stream once. Yeah, with the Godfather trilogy, I think it's one of those things where I recognize how well made they are. Not so much the third one, but, you know, yeah, as movies, like incredible casts, incredible acting, you know, great direction, great dialogue and all that. Just weren't really like the kind of films that I was like madly in love with. Just all those kind of gangster movies just never grabbed me as much as other genres. But it's weird, yeah. Like on the one hand, I recognize they're really good. It's just they're not like the things I would choose to watch so much. Oscar Ramos said, "Have you seen Shut In by the Daily Wire?" No, I've heard about this though, and I watched the trailer, and it looked good. Yeah, it looked quite promising. I'm pretty sure it's available free on YouTube. They just released it, straight out there. So it is, yeah, it's something I'm planning to watch. I don't know if I'll review it, but if it's really good, then yeah. Yeah, have you ever watched Upgrade? Yeah, I have. Pretty cool, actually. Pretty good action scenes. The fight scenes are really good, like well choreographed and stuff. The concept's really good. And man, the ending is not what I predicted. So yeah, it's quite a good movie, actually. Does the drinker recommend Willow? God, that's a blast from the past. I haven't seen that in about 20 years. I think it's quite a fun movie. It's kind of goofy at times, and yeah, it's almost like they were having like a really weird stab at doing something like Lord of the Rings, long before Lord of the Rings was brought to the cinemas. Yeah, I think it's got some good moments in it for sure. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Val Kilmer was quite good in it. Andreas said, "What will bring an end to woke culture?" Nothing. I don't think it'll ever end. There's always going to be people who push this stuff. It's just a question of how dominant it is. So, I mean, what's going to get it out of movies, or at least bring it down to a tolerable degree? Just seeing films that push it really hard fail again and again. Damn, maybe The Rings of Power could be, a real turning point in all this. That's probably the most expensive, high-profile gamble, and based on what we're seeing in the teaser trailers, it seems to be pushing this stuff. And what people behind the scenes and involved in the production have said, it's going to push this stuff pretty hard. So if that fails, if that's a disaster, damn, that could be a pretty strong message. The right kind of message. I mean, not the message. R. Morris said, "RM from Los Angeles. You're one of the funniest and wittiest motherfuckers out there. Keep it up, my guy." Cheers, man. Steppenwolf says, "The fellowship of the drink." That's the kind of fellowship I like. JS Pena said, "Don't forget to upload the SC catch-up on OB number 10. The Superchat catch-up on Open Bar 10. I thought I had already. Let me check that. There we go. Did you like Planet of the Apes, the 1968 original? Yeah, I mean, it's, they're obviously working within the limitations of prosthetics and stuff at the time for the Apes, but they did a pretty damn good job with it. Charlton Heston was great in it. And yeah, you're never going to top that ending for twists, man. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Hi, Drinker. How was Ailstorm? They were fucking awesome. I couldn't speak for about 2 days afterwards. I don't think I could record any videos because my voice was just gone. I spent the whole night yelling and like singing along to them. It was great fun. First gig I'd been able to get to since like the pandemic happened. So yeah, it was great to be back. Yeah. John Kinney, have you ever or will you ever review RoboCop? I mean, I did a happy hour stream on it. So you can catch that. Spent a couple of hours talking about it probably. So yeah, go check that out. You'll find it on my second channel. Yeah, have you seen A Clockwork Orange? Yes, I have. Yeah, I can see obviously why it was a hugely influential movie. One of Stanley Kubrick's I guess most infamous films. Not the kind of movie you would want to watch on a regular basis, because goddamn. But yeah, Malcolm McDowell in it is fucking brilliant. There's a real dark, humorous undertone to the whole thing that I just think works really well. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting film, it really is. Oh yeah, John Carter of Mars. Yeah, that would be an interesting one to review because that was, a huge failure for Disney. That was meant to be the start of some enormous franchise, and it absolutely didn't take off. And I think that's what indirectly led to them purchasing Star Wars. because they wanted a Star Wars of their own. They just couldn't create it. But yeah, it'd be interesting to look back on that film and see where it went wrong. Blair Reese said, my wife and I find you piss funny and spot on take on today's The Message. I'll have a crack at one of your books soon on Kindle. Thanks very much, man. Nobody 1143 said, did you see the dumpster fire that was the Wheel of Time show? Nah, because people just say it's absolute garbage, so I just don't want to watch it. Christian Lewis says, love your content. Keep it up. Thank you, mates. Nick Amalfitano said, have you seen The Devil All the Time? Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, etc. in it. It's made me a fan of Tom Holland. No, I haven't seen that one, mate. Not even aware of it, really. Yeah. I'm getting to respect Robert Pattinson as an actor a lot more these days. So yeah, I'd be intrigued by that. Poor Tom Holland, though. Uncharted was a bunch of shite. Logan Bissett said, would you ever do a video on the Underworld movies? I always liked it as a great werewolf vampire film. Yeah, there was about 6 or 7 of them. Christ, they did as many of them as they did the Resident Evil films. Lots of fun action and a cool premise. It was, and it had Kate Beckinsale in a leather corset, which is always good. Yeah, they definitely declined in quality as they went on, but the first couple I remember being pretty good. So, yeah, I would do a review on that. Alamo Fight Cat said, sup, drinker, have you seen Lamb with Numi Rapace? I saw it yesterday and I hated the ending. Would have been a solid 7 or 8 without that. Lamb? The fuck? I'm going to have to look this one up. Because I did see one with Numi Rapace recently where she's like a mercenary in like Afghanistan or something. Ah, right. It literally is about a woman with a lamb. Yeah, I have not seen that. God bless Numi Rapace. She does some interesting movies, I'll say that. All right, next one. Andrew Lemke says, what is your opinion? In your opinion, what is the best trip logo of our lifetime? I don't know what that is. A trip logo. What's trip logo? Should Ace Ventura get a new movie? Nah, he's too old now. First 2 were funny, though. Yeah, I'm going to wait to see if anyone knows what the fucking trip logo is. Excuse me while I die. What's this one? Hold on. Oh fuck! They've all just jumped past me so quickly. That was weird. Chat didn't move for like a good 10 seconds, and all of a sudden there was like 50 messages there. Don't die, drink. I'll try. I'll hang in there. Here's a good question. What's favorite Steven Seagal film? Under Siege, I think, is one of my favorites. Just it totally took that high concept. Die Hard on a something that was just around in the late 80s, early 90s, and it's like, yeah, how about we just do Die Hard on a battleship? Fucking cool. Yeah, and they filmed it on the real life Missouri, I think, which is really fucking awesome. So yeah, that'd probably be my favorite. That was probably his last big sort of big budget theatrical release before he kind of descended into direct to video madness. Do you consider yourself a mean person? No, I'm a lovely man. You can tell by my sunny disposition. Yeah, I would like to think if you see me on live chats and stuff, or on live streams, I'm a fairly laid back guy. And yeah, I'm pretty harsh on movies sometimes, but it's my job. What can I say? Steppenwolf says, if not for the critical drinkers, I'd be an alcoholic. Yeah, because you look at me and you're thinking, fuck, I don't want to end up like that guy. Alex said, shout out from Charlotte, North Carolina. Do you think Disney will censor the Marvel Netflix shows when they get moved onto Disney Plus? Love the channel. Yeah, I don't know how they can get away with some of the shit you had in Punisher and Daredevil, as awesome as they were. I mean, there's like a subsection of Disney Plus that's like adult content, so I don't know, I guess they could stick it in there. because it definitely doesn't fit with the rest of the Marvel branded stuff. Because it's actually good. Yeah, and I don't trust their ability to make more Daredevil stuff. Not at this point. Christopher B said, "Hey Drinker, question. Where did that dwarf woman's beard go in the Rings of Power trailer? Why didn't they go full message and give her at least a goatee?" Yeah, I wanted to see a big, luscious beard on her, because that's the way the dwarves are meant to be. So you might as well stick to it. I guess they figured it would look visually kind of dumb, because you just wouldn't really be able to distinguish her from a man. But hey, women have beards apparently now. I don't know. Jesus. Yeah, this show just seems like a fucking disaster. Wesley M134 said, "What's your favorite Star Trek series and what's your favorite episode?" Damn, probably TNG, which I know is kind of a predictable answer, but like they just produced the best stuff. And I'll always have a soft spot for the first episode, where you encounter the Borg. I just think for a show that was obviously not on a massive budget, they made an enemy that was just really alien and weird and unusual and kind of disturbing how soulless they were. Yeah, I think that was a brilliant bit of writing. The Inner Light was obviously a good one as well that a lot of people cite. Just a nice character-driven episode. So yeah, those would be my choices. I would say. Mass89 said, "Hey Drinker, recent subscriber, please send a shout out to my friend Steve Knight, who introduced me to you and currently has COVID. Thanks in advance." Well, sorry, man. Yeah, so your friend Steve Knight. Hope you get better soon, mate. It sucks to have something like that, but yeah, fingers crossed you get back to normal soon. Jaws J said, "Bourbon drinking traitor, I sent you a recommendation video for a German show some time ago. Would you recommend it here? I think you had fun with it." Right. That was the one about the German beer fest, wasn't it? Fuck. I'm going to see if I can find it. No, it was like an Oktoberfest. Give me a second. I'm pretty sure I can find it. Not beer fest, although that is pretty good. Oktoberfest. Yes, Beer and Blood, I think it's called. Yeah, so Oktoberfest, Beer and Blood. It's on Netflix, apparently. It's a mini-series. Yeah, it's meant to be pretty good. So the trailer made it look all right. What's next? Retro Days said, "Hey Drinker, love everything you do. I know you're a writer. Think maybe you could review a novel of mine coming out in the fall. If so, let me know, man, and how to contact you." I would love to, mate. It's just the amount of time it would take me to read it and then put together a review and stuff. I wouldn't have time. I wouldn't be able to give it the attention it deserves. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say no, man. Apologies. Greyman Media said, "Would you be able to review any Stephen Chow movies?" Some of his big ones. Let me see. What you done, mate? Damn, he's been in loads of stuff. So he's the director and a writer. King of God, Good of Cooking. Yeah, let's see. Fist of Fury. That sounds all right. Yeah, I could look through some of this. Yeah, leave that with me. I'll see what I can do. Anthony says, "As a Ouija, I think you're half cut. I'm a great fan." Cheers, mate. Wayward Culture said, "Glad I caught the stream. Excited for Doctor Strange 2. A little bit. I've got a slight fear that they're just going to go down the No Way Home route and just throw in a bunch of fan service, a whole bunch of just nostalgia bait stuff, just loads of references to other characters and other movies, and that's just going to be like a lazy option for them. So yeah, hopefully they don't do that. And yeah, I'm not thrilled to see Scarlet Witch in it because they really fucked her up with her own show with WandaVision, and I'm just worried that we're just going to get more of that same character. Yeah. Yeah, I love how your face disappears when you change displays. Yeah, what happens? Like the live the sort of old super chats are on a different screen. But the main one I look at so that I can see the chat normally is through StreamYards, and the rest of the screen around me is white. That's why my face is so like washed out, because you can't really put dark mode on StreamYards. But then if I do this, suddenly I go dark, and then that's it. You don't know where I am anymore. So yeah, sorry about that my face keeps changing, but what can I do? What's the next one? Midsummer says, I'd love to see you do a retrospective review on Chariots of Fire for some proper character development compared to today's films. Yeah, Chariots of Fire, that was like way back in the 80s. I mean, the soundtrack was by Vangelis, who did just a whole bunch of stuff back in the 80s. It was all like really synthy and Blade Runner-esque. But yeah, like for what it was a really good film. I liked it. F4 Wildcat said, "Sub drinker, have a Belgian beer." Yeah, Left Blonde is pretty good. Do you think The Expanse will be picked up by another network now that sixth season finished on Prime? I don't know. It might be that it's run its course. I mean, 6 seasons is a pretty good run for any show. Maybe that's enough for it now. George Whitaker says, "Dear drinker, what are your thoughts, if any, on John Frankenheimer's Ronin? I enjoyed it every time I see it. Very pleasant film, and Sean Bean doesn't get killed." No, he doesn't actually. He just kind of leaves. Like Robert De Niro just kind of exposes him for being a fraud, because he acts like this big tough SAS guy, and he knows fuck all. And I think De Niro just says, "Yeah, you're going to get us all killed. Fuck off," and then he just leaves. But yeah, Ronin was a good movie. I liked it. Nerdlife91 says, "Greetings from Korea. What's your take on Black Sails? Would you do a review on the series?" If I have time, yeah. But I want to say thank you to Korea. Thank you to your country for giving us Squid Game and for giving us All of Us Are Dead. Both great series that I recommend. You guys are just absolutely killing it right now. Be Real, give me $5. Cheers, mate. JB at Sea said, "Drinker, did you see Netflix has got the Russos to adapt The Grey Man this year with a $200 million budget? Hope this is one of the non-turds this year." I mean, if the Russos are working on it, I've got a bit of hope. We can but hope. But yeah, I don't know too much more about that. Trill1817 said, "Hey drinker, have you watched Warrior on HBO Max? Awesome show, supposed to be based on Bruce Lee's writings. I would love to hear your critique of it in the future. If you can, keep up the good work, sir. God bless." I mean, you gotta fucking love Bruce Lee. Awesome dude. Incredible life that he had. Yeah, I'd be interested to watch that, actually. Edward Maidment says, "Have you seen A River Runs Through It? And if so, what did you think about it?" I haven't seen that, mate. I don't know. Vidmantis G said, "Drinker, you dreamer of Tatiana, when will you review Hitman? Greetings from Lithuania." Cheers, mate. Anya from my books is from Lithuania, so yeah, I like that country. Hitman, so there's 2 versions of that, isn't there? There was the one with Timothy Olyphant, and then they did another like rebooted version. Yeah, I've watched both of them. I don't actually remember much about them. I just thought they were fairly like standard action movies. Yeah, I hadn't really played much of the games, so I don't know how they compare. But yeah, the films were just fairly like forgettable action flicks from what I remember. What's the next one? Yeah, there we go. Kingdom on Netflix, awesome epic zombie nonsense. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I like the premise of it too. Scab the Viking said, "Master and Commander is elite." It certainly is. Melon said, "Hey drinker, thoughts on Gladiator with Russell Crowe? Easily one of the best films I've ever seen, in my opinion." Yeah, absolutely. Probably one of Russell Crowe's best. Although I really liked him in Cinderella Man as well. But yeah, and what was the other one he did? A Beautiful Mind. Really good acting in that. But yeah, like I think Gladiator was probably the height of his career. Yeah, really good film. Where's the next one there? Sorry, it just vanished for a sec. Pork Sea Fish said, "Watch The Maltese Falcon the other night. They really don't make them like that anymore. They say Houston just filmed the book." Fuck yeah. Classic movies like that. God damn. Eric Kinney gave me $5. Cheers, mate. GeoLaw1 said, greetings from a fellow drunkard from across the pond in Newfoundland. What's your thoughts on the Boondock Saints? I loved it. It would make a great addition of production hell as well. I was talking to Muller about that because it's on my list to watch. I'd never seen it, which is sacrilege. I know, it's just one of those films I never got around to. Weird. But yeah, I definitely am going to see it. Ryuhi Yukiharu said, why do you think Hollywood doesn't spend as much money on the writers as they do on special effects? Hiring better writers doesn't seem expensive or complicated. Are writers just treated so poorly? I don't know if it's more like studio interference and the studio mandating like certain things have to be included in the film. You know, the message has to be pushed. I don't know if they hire activists rather than writers. And this is why you end up with the garbage that we get today. Either way, they definitely need to invest in better ones. And I just feel like there's probably a whole generation of writers now in Hollywood that just can't get jobs because they don't push the message hard enough or they don't fit the right demographic to get hired. There was a really like depressing article that I read called Hollywood's New Rules, and it kind of details a lot of that. And a lot of anecdotal stuff from screenwriters who are just like, basically I can't get employed now. And I've been told by my agent, the studios just won't hire you because you don't fit the profile now. But man, if some studio was smart, they would hoover up all of these writers who they could probably get for an absolute bargain and use their skills to actually write good movies. Doesn't seem that hard. It's like there should be a market for it. Have I seen Tombstone? Yes, I have, and I did a happy hour on it as well. Strange Monkey Reviews said, does the world deserve a sequel to The Island of Dr. Moreau? I mean, if they could get all the same people back, the ones that are still alive, it would just be glorious. Fuck. Yeah, the mind boggles at what might happen there. People are probably still having therapy for that movie. Wolfgar said, hi, Drinker. Would you ever do a stream about Farscape? It's easily my favorite sci-fi series, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the show's writing. I would love to do that, yeah. I'd be quite happy to do a proper like scripted review and have a talk about it too. Ransom G said, ever seen Rear Window? It's an absolute classic and deserves a full review from you, Drinker. Haven't seen Rear Window, I'm afraid. It's a proper old one, that. It should be one of those movies that goes on my list of classics to review. It's a good prospect for my second channel. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, there you go. Disney's writing with China in mind. I think less so now, because basically a lot of their movies just get banned over there. Maybe they're realizing that it's not economically viable. Zedpool said, hey, Drinker, what are your thoughts and expectations on the new live-action Halo series coming up? Are you excited or expecting failure? I mean, the trailer looked all right. They did say pretty disturbing things, like they're going to have Master Chief take his helmet off, which is just wrong. Like, you shouldn't see that. Which makes me think they're going to go down like the Mandalorian road or Boba Fett, where he's got his helmet off every 2 minutes. So we can see his glorious face. But yeah, like I say, the special effects and everything in the trailer that I've seen looked all right. It's just difficult to tell at this stage. It doesn't really give much away. Bobby Bailey said, have you seen The Last Kingdom on Netflix? And what watch are you wearing? Right now, I'm wearing a Diesel watch. So I probably wasn't wearing this one when I did the stream the other night. I think that was an Armani one. I got a few watches. I like them. Which is weird because I can't tell the time. Who cares? But yeah, so Last Kingdom, I got asked about that earlier. And I basically watched the first 3 or 4 episodes. Didn't really get into it. It just felt a little bit wandered in terms of the narrative, and I wasn't that interested in the characters, so didn't quite grab me. Maybe it gets better later. Antriv Singh said, thoughts on Tarantino? What's your favorite Tarantino movie? Beers on me next time you're in Australia. Cheers, boss. Love your channel. Cheers, man. Tarantino seems to be one of the last people in Hollywood that can still speak his mind and be honest about the bullshit. So respect him on that score. You know, he's made some of the most influential movies of our generation. So he's done pretty incredible stuff. In terms of my favorite, it would be easy to say something like Pulp Fiction. I've got a real soft spot for Kill Bill, like both of them. Like I kind of see them both as being like one movie because really they are. But yeah, those would probably be my top picks. Weirdly, I didn't get into Reservoir Dogs quite as much. Yeah, I always find that like a bit too slow paced for me. It was a weird one. Eric Kinney said, "Are you going to review Jack Reacher on Prime? Also, have you read Tolkien's Unfinished Tales? Any opinions?" Yes, so I am going to review Reacher. So yeah, I just need to watch it first. I haven't read Unfinished Tales though, I'm afraid. Inglourious Bastards. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. A hell of a cast in it as well. I think that was the movie that introduced us to Christoph Waltz. So yeah, did pretty fucking good on that score. Next one. Yeah. How did you feel when Aaron Sun and John Crichton turned up in Stargate? Yeah, it was funny. Like they obviously like switched them around. Like Claudia Black became the quirky, over the top, eccentric one, and Ben Broder now became like the stoic military type. So they obviously didn't want to have them just play the same fucking characters again. But yeah, it was great to see them again. Damn, you gotta love them. Darkside said, "Hey Drinker, I love your vids. Have you ever had a producer of a movie reach out to you about reviews that you've done?" Not really, no. I mean, I've had after I did my review on Dog Soldiers, the director of that movie, he's a Scottish director. He reached out just to say like, "Oh, thanks, I'm glad you enjoyed my stuff. I like your channel and stuff." So yeah, things like that. But I imagine most Hollywood producers would hate me if they even know who I am. Gallifrey and Avenger said, "Drinker, have you seen much of Lenny Abrahamson's work? Room, Frank, Normal People, Garage, etc." Yeah, not too familiar with his stuff, I'm afraid. Yeah, with Room, I'd seen that. I liked it because I'd read the book and then I was intrigued by the movie. So yeah, I don't know how representative that is of him, but yeah, I quite enjoyed that one. Lo-Fi Samurai said, "Cheers, Drinker. Can you bring on Rob Ager for a stream?" I mean, anything's possible. Ged Billow said, "I fancy Frosk. You exist, Drinker. You." What the fuck? Oh, I think you mean sexist. I mean, you go ahead and fancy her if you like. It takes a special kind of man, I would imagine. When's the next one? So someone was asking me, when's the Fellowship of the Ring talk? So it's not going to be this Thursday. It's going to be next Thursday, and that's when I'm bringing Voxus on. Hunter Mooney said, "Hello, sir. Came here to say that my dad is a huge fan of you and he loves your reviews. Thank you very much to your dad. You're a great writer too. Keep doing what you do." Cheers, mate. Much appreciated. Christopher B said, "Have you seen the movie Escanaba in the Moonlight? It's a comedy with Jeff Daniels about deer hunting in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan." Not too familiar with that one, I'm afraid, mate. Sorry. Brianna Williams said, "Hey, Drinker, since you like sci-fi, I'd like to see your opinion on the visual novel game 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. It's a really great time travel story starring teenagers in mechs." Fuck, I'm sold. NimD3851 gave me $5. Thanks very much for that, buddy. Strawman said, "Hey, Drinker, what are your thoughts on the work of H.P. Lovecraft? And do you think it's feasible to translate them to the big screen?" Yeah, I love the concept of what Lovecraft creates. You know, these like, you know, unknowable horrors that exist outside of like our space time and our whole understanding of the universe. That's like the very essence of horror, just like completely outside the bounds of our reality. So yeah, very cool stuff. obviously difficult to represent on screen, but absolutely give it a go. I'd love to see more films like that. That's probably why I enjoyed like In the Mouth of Madness. It was like a John Carpenter movie, but it was obviously Carpenter's take on Lovecraft, with all these like weird fucking deformed monsters things. Yeah, that was a pretty cool movie. Paul B said, "Any thoughts on Netflix's just announced adaptation of BioShock?" Not too optimistic if it's Netflix. It should be a slam dunk as well. Just like the Uncharted movie, you've got a great storyline, you've got a great setting, you've got great ideas to play with. It shouldn't be that hard. Steppenwolf said, "Non sibi sed patre." Okay, don't know what that means. David Kinsella said, "Gay for the drinker, the Rocky of reviews." Cheers, man. Sean Vincic said, "Can you do a review of T-34? What a fantastic tank movie from the Russians." Yeah, people recommended that when I did my review of The Beast on my second channel. Yeah, I'm always up for another tank movie. What's the next one? Review Army of Darkness. Yeah, we did an EFAP movies on that, so I've watched it fairly recently, but yeah, I'd be happy to review that. It's great fun. David Fox says, "Hey Drinker, how many times have you been called racist since releasing your review of Rings of Power trailer?" My thoughts exactly, by the way. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to be searching, Reddit or anything for mentions of me, so I don't really give a fuck for the most part. I think I was like, with that video, I was as fair and as balanced as I could be in putting forward my views on it. And I think, well, judging by the reception it's got, the majority of people seem to agree with me. So, yeah, I'm cool with that. There's always going to be people out there that want to take a crack at you, but yeah, I don't worry too much about them. Bobby Knight said, "Drinker, I would literally donate my left arm to hear your review of One Punch Man season 1 on Netflix. It's the greatest thing ever." It could happen. I mean, people wanted me to review Invincible for ages, and I finally got around to watching it and gave it a Drinker recommends. So anything's possible. Next one. Yeah, and you don't need to donate your left arm. You'll be fine. Christian Louise says, "Raging Bull, thoughts?" Good film. De Niro, like, absolutely giving it his all. Obviously gained a huge amount of weight for the role, so you can't fault his commitment to it. Yeah, and LaMotta, like, his version of LaMotta is just an absolute asshole. Like, goddamn. He really puts people through the mill in that movie. But yeah, it's a tough movie to fault, really, in terms of like the work and the commitment that went into it. Gerald Armstrong says, "Speaking of The Rock, do you believe it's a James Bond movie?" I'd like to believe it is. It would be a nice way for Sean Connery's James Bond to bow out, I think. What's the next one? Hunter Mooney said, "Are you a fan of Your Movie Sucks or the Sardonicast podcast?" Don't know much about Sardonicast, but yeah, Your Movie Sucks. I've watched it from time to time. Not like a massive, like, regular viewer or anything, but some of his stuff's been pretty good. Ryuhi Yukihari said, "What games do you play? Would you consider streaming yourself playing games sometimes?" Well, it's funny you should ask that, because I just streamed myself playing Horizon Forbidden West. So yeah, I'm playing through that at the moment. I just finished Metro Last Light. I just played the re-released HD version of that. Really enjoyed it. I'd already completed Metro Exodus, so it was nice to get the backstory filled in. Obviously, if you've looked back through my channel, I've done all the Resident Evil games, like reviewed them all. So yeah, stuff like that. I love a bit of survival horror. Bit of sci-fi, bit of open world stuff is good fun as well. Loved Red Dead Redemption 2. That was awesome. And what was the Japanese one? Fuck, I should know this one. Chat will help me out. You'll come to my rescue. I just cannot remember what the fuck it is. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for my question to come through. There it is, Ghost of Tsushima. Why couldn't I fucking remember that? I even streamed myself playing a bit of that as well. So yeah, that was great fun. Yeah, someone also asked me what are my expectations for the next Final Fantasy VII remake entry. Yeah, it'd be nice to get like a bit of actual RPG exploration for once, because yeah, the first game, as fun as it was, and as nice as it was to see all these characters rendered in proper like HD and given a modern treatment, very linear. You're every step of the way you're kind of confined to these really tight areas that you can't explore much. And yeah, I was always just itching for the plot to back off a little bit and just let me do side quests and just have some fun and explore, and just never lets you do that. So hopefully the next game is going to allow a bit more of that. Next one is Chris Lang said, what are your thoughts on the Olympics being in China? I'd be curious to know your opinion of the Russia-Ukraine situation. I mean, damn, I'm not like a military expert or anything, so I don't know what to say there. Like, seems like they're gearing up for an invasion, though. The Olympics being held in China, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, to be honest. I don't know why we keep giving them these things. But yeah, I haven't been watching it, that's for fucking sure. H. Crawford says, love your work. Do a review of Whiplash. Thank you. I'll try. Steve O'Devil said, Hail Drinker, who would win, Lemmy or God? I'd say Lemmy for sure. JG said, do a review on the Toxic Avenger. Fucking hell, that's random. Cardero said, thoughts on the film Bone Tomahawk? It may be worthy of a Drinker Recommends blessing. So I've only seen the really gory bits because I was like morbidly curious about it, but I haven't seen the whole movie yet. But it does have Kurt Russell in it, so that's a recommendation right there. What the fuck? What do you think about Ubisoft cancelling the R6 event from UAE because of the message? Oh, I don't know much about that. Yeah, I need to look that one up. I'll let you touch my wife's boobs if you review the burps. I'm going to hold you to that. What's the next one? Jones said, Drinker, any audience panned movies that you actually liked, or audience critically acclaimed movies that you disliked? Lots of laughs, you crazy drunk. No, that's the interesting thing. Like, I tend to agree with the audience rather than professional reviewers. Yeah, most of the time. I think they're a much more reliable barometer of whether a movie's worth watching. It's the audience reviews. Yeah, I'm trying to think of ones where I've disagreed. Yeah, I was really disappointed in the last Rambo movie because a lot of people seem to really like that, but I thought it was a really disappointing end for the character. It's just not what I expected. Yeah, it seemed to go down a different road where Rambo just acted like a completely different character at that point, and it was weird. It didn't feel like a Rambo film. He didn't feel like Rambo as a character. But yeah, so that was probably one that I disliked. Dagobah Resident said, Hey, Drinker, I recently watched Yellow Jackets and was pleasantly surprised. Mostly female characters with depth and nuance. What the fuck? But hardly anyone is talking about it. Any chance you'll take a look? Yeah, I'm always interested in stuff like that like gives us actual human characters. Yeah, leave that one with me. Tadeus Vancouver says, sorry for using ad block all the time. That's all right. I'm not Matt Jarbo. I'm not going to tell you to disable it. Consider this a small compensation. What do you love to do besides drinking, movies, games, and Tatiana? That's all I need in life, man. I'm pretty happy when I've got those things. Maybe a bit of food occasionally. Keep me going. Bird Up says, I second the Black Sails recommendation. Ever seen someone get keel hauled? Not yet, but I'm hoping to. You will if you watch this show. Brilliant. Sign me up then. It does sound like a fucking awful torture. What's the next one? Refresh. There we go. Rush LP said, maybe I missed it, but what are your thoughts on the Doctor Strange trailer? Excited? No, I haven't done a video on it yet. There's been too many other things going on, and it's kind of lower down my list. But I'm intrigued. Intrigued is probably the best words. Kind of nervous considering like what Marvel's been like recently with Phase 4. So a bit worried that they're just going to devolve it into like jangling some keys in front of us and pushing the message again, especially with Scarlet Witch being in it. I'm sure she'll be better at magic than Doctor Strange has ever been. But we'll see. Gamer Dad says, let's be honest, in the last 10 years, the only thing Hollywood has done is the first season of Witcher and the new Dune and maybe the last Spider-Man. I mean, there's been other good stuff. Joker was good. Ford versus Ferrari was good. Invincible was good. Arcane was really good. Excuse me. Borat Golem said, not economically viable. Go away now. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice little callback to Falling Down. Rico02 says, have you seen Merlin? I just started and I'm really liking it. No, I haven't, mate. Sorry. Jason F said, hey, Drinker, big fan of the channel and plan to get your books when I can find the time. I plan to publish a novel, a fantasy horror based in Greek myth. Any advice for a first-time novelist? Cheers. Well, if you go to my second channel, Critical Drinker After Hours, I made an entire video giving my advice for authors and how to get published and stuff. So, yeah, check that out, and it'll tell you more than I can cobble together here. Brandon said, what's your response to your critics who say that your political opinions influence your opinions on media? I would politely disagree with them and tell them to get fucked. The whole point of my channel is that, like, I don't want politics interfering with media and art. And I try to just divorce myself from that as much as possible. I know it's, for any person, nobody can be entirely objective about anything. But I try to give credit where it's due. I mean, that's the best I can say. I try to be fair and go into things with as much of an open mind as I can. Cardero said, I keep visualizing the actress Alice Eve as Maras when I'm reading your books. Charlize Theron would be good too, I think, but she's maybe too old now. Well, Anya is 42 in the first book, so Charlize is probably about the right age. Alice Eve, I need to see her and see how she compares. Oh, yeah. Damn, yeah, she was in Star Trek. She was in that Star Trek Into Darkness playing Carol Marcus. Damn, she was hot in that. I'd forgotten how well she filled out that underwear. I think she could definitely pull that off. Alberta Strengths gave me 20 Canadian dollars saying thank you. Cheers, man. DL Saint said, respect to you, brother. Have you ever seen Peppermint with Jennifer Garner? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Peppermint. Is that a more recent one? I'm just looking it up. If it's on Netflix, 2018. What the fuck? So, it's a vigilante action thriller. Damn, she looks pretty good in it, actually. Looks like she's still in pretty good shape as Jennifer Garner. I might give that a watch, actually. Cheers. David Willing says, hi, Drinker, you refined man, a great taste. Love your reviews. Finished my first feature as writer-director, Surrogate. It's a horror influenced by The Ring and Grudge. It doesn't have the message. I'll send it to you. Cool. Thank you, man. There you go. There's a director reaching out to me right now. How good timing is that? Conman Kershaw said, hey there, Drinker. Have you seen The Great Outdoors or The Three Amigos? I have seen The Three Amigos. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I showed them to my girlfriend the other day and she loved them. Nice one. Glad she did. Quad Cowboy said, watched Yellowstone in 1883. If so, thoughts? And if not, why? I have not. And my reason why is I just haven't had time. What's the next one? There's so many film recommendations here. It's making my head spin. Roop298 said, 1, do you use beard oil? No, this is au natural. And 2, what's your opinion on McEwen's champ? It's shite. Don't have it. Braz Koala Killer said, your thoughts on Sabaton or their new song? I do like Sabaton, actually. Damn, they cover a lot of stuff, like a lot of historical stuff in their songs. Haven't heard the latest one, though, so I don't know which one that is. Jonathan Thane says, hey, Drinker, big fan. What do you think about TV shows like Letterkenny? Funny, Danquish was just recommending Letterkenny to me the other day. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Tomislav Takak says, he gave me a super sticker. Cheers, mate. David Brennan says, hi, Drinker, what's your favorite film score? Oh, man. God, there's so many to pick from. I love the Indiana Jones score. Couldn't top that, really. I really like the score from Wrath of Khan. I think that's brilliantly done. Most of James Horner's stuff, actually, I'm a big fan of. I know it can get a bit samey at times, but man, he nails it. Yeah, so probably ones like that, I guess, would be my top picks. Also love the Predator score. It's like so fucking atmospheric and moody. It's just perfect. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up here. What do you think of Team America? Brilliant. Love it. Fucking brilliant movie. Never get made today, but yeah, I definitely plan on reviewing it. What's the next one? Christian Babbitt said, hello, Drinker. I know this is a less popular show, but will you ever do a review of the Netflix show Dota Dragon's Blood? I mean, realistically, probably not, just with the amount of other things I need to get through. It's just, there's not enough hours in the day to review all these different things. Never mind watching them. Ged Billow said, wow, Drinker, Sam Jones, legend. Well, hopefully so. I mean, I'm looking forward to talking to him. Jiffrey890 said, you could probably get Alex from Psycho Stick on easily if you promise to let him talk about Anonymous Rex. Shanator said, how do you balance out creating your own content and delving yourself into the work of others so deeply, movies and books, etc.? Love the vids. It's not fucking easy, let me tell you. It's hard to switch from like critic mode into like creative mode to write your own stuff. And the best way is just to divide them as much as possible. So take a good several days to write a chunk of my next book or whatever, and then get back into making YouTube stuff. Otherwise, I can't do it like one day on, one day off kind of thing. I can't divide my mind like that. Next one, because I'm just conscious as well that more super chats are coming in as I'm doing this. Poya, she said, why don't you talk more about writing in games? I mean, I do whenever I review the games. Like I did it in Last of Us 2, things like that. So yeah, when I do my review of Horizon Forbidden West, I'll definitely talk about it there because it's a very story-driven game. Mark Farrar said, would you ever write a non-fiction book? What subject would it be about? Well, interesting you should say that. I am in talks to do a non-fiction book about movies, would you believe? So it'll be in character as the Drinker. And yeah, like, I don't know how best to describe it. It'll be a little bit like reading my reviews, but like longer form and more in depth. And they'll obviously be like graphics, production stills and stuff to illustrate what I'm saying. And you'll get a mixture of like behind the scenes of movies or like best and worst, all that kind of thing. So that's what we're working on at the moment. So yeah, I'll let you know more about that if and when it happens. Carter says, Drinker, what's your favorite cocktail to make when at home? Yeah, I was just talking about these earlier, actually. I can make a pretty good Negroni now. If you've got the right kind of gin, then it's great. So that, and I've become fairly good at making an espresso martini. As long as you get the coffee just properly strong and let it cool down properly before you mix it with the ice, it'll be bang on. Nicholas Stafford says, was there ever a good live-action Superman movie? Yeah, probably the first Christopher Reeve one was about as good as it gets. Mufti Teg says, when did you work out all the twists and Something to Die For? I loved all the books and thank you for sharing them with us. Thanks, man. That was my final novel that I did. And to be honest, a lot of them I worked out when I wrote my first book, Redemption, like 10 years before. So it was kind of weird to finally be writing all these scenes and bringing to an end all these plot arcs that I'd come up with 10 years previously. It was cool, and it was sad as well in a way, because it's like I'm saying goodbye to it all. But hey, I'm glad I got a chance to do it. A lot of authors, they don't even get a chance to finish a series that they start. Like, it just gets cancelled and that's it. It just kind of dies. So yeah, I'm glad I got to finish it the right way. Devech Laszlo says, "Hello, Drinker. Love your content. Following for a long time. If you're looking for good Netflix content, I recommend Love and Monsters. Good movie." Thank you very much. Mark said, "Have you considered having a roundtable stream of writers such as yourself and discuss each of your own inspirations, flaws, and writing methods?" It's an interesting idea. I just, I'm not sure how well it would play on this channel, because people come here, I guess, for movie reviews mostly rather than writing stuff. It's almost like it'd be better suited like getting hosted on someone else's channel, like who's more dedicated to writing. But yeah, I'd be happy to appear on it. Ged Billow says, "Sam Jones for the new Doctor Who. Why not?" Yeah, bring him in. Why not? Ajanis said, "Been enjoying your reviews for a while now. So happy you found your channel, Drinker. Have you ever considered doing a video on advice for writers?" There you go. Go to my second channel and it's right there. Bin Hans said, "Hey, it seems like Weta Workshop and Weta Digital are involved, so you can expect excellent CGI. The story plot, though, and the message won't help." I've got no doubt that this will look visually great. They're spending enough money on it. The writing is where it's going to lie, whether or not it's going to be good or not. Big Barrett Bob said, "Drinker, I think you could recommend the movie They Live." I have. One of my all-time favorites, either The Thing or even Quigley Down Under. That's all I got from the USA Today. Keep going now. Cheers, man. I've done live streams on They Live, and I've done a review of The Thing, and I haven't really reviewed Quigley Down Under, but hey, it's got a special place in my heart. The Rossinati said, "No question, just thank you for entertaining me all the time, and I'm sorry for never buying any of your books. I'm sure they're good." Thank you, mate. It's much appreciated. Ataku Sage said, "Can't recommend Berserk by Kentaro Miura enough." Cool. Cher S says, "Is there anything we can do to stop the Lord of the Rings Amazon series?" Nope, not at this point. Returns to Orc Monkey says, "Speaking of video game stories, Final Fantasy 14, especially the last two expansions, Shadowbringers and Endwalker, have some of the best stories I've been recently seeing in any medium. No lie, it's powerful stuff." Damn. I tuned out a little bit after like Final Fantasy 13. That game really turned me off. Honestly, I think they've been so rocky for the past probably 10 years. I know they've been good ones. I just probably feel like I've missed them. Zis1218 said, "Mr. Drinker, what are your thoughts on Guy Ritchie movies? Any favorites of the bunch?" Yeah, Guy Ritchie movies are great, mostly, apart from Arthur. Probably like the classics are going to be like Lock, Stock, and Snatch. They were both excellent. I liked his take on The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I thought that was really good. But yeah, generally speaking, I like his stuff. As long as he sticks within his genre. Ransom G said, "Drinker, apologies. I know I asked this, but I didn't find timestamps from earlier when you answered it because I had to go. What's your editing software again? Going to make a video that will be on EFAP soon." The software I use is VideoPad Professional. It's fairly simple to use. It's a sort of timeline-based editor. You can splice footage in, no problem. And you can layer your audio tracks, put in titles, all the usual stuff. So it's pretty easy. Liquid's Back says, "It's a shame Game of Thrones couldn't do Book of Euron Greyjoy. He's like Ramsay meets Oberyn and Tywin." I kind of like Euron just for being absolutely batshit crazy. Got such a shit death in the end, though. Trenton Quinn said, "Thoughts on the Reacher show? I thought it was a perfect way to modernize a book from 97. Like I said earlier, I haven't seen it yet, but I am going to review it. Alberta Strength gave me 20 Canadian dollars. Cheers, mate. Brado Jacko says, "Cobra Kai sucks. It checks all the woke boxes. It does have the message, and all the characters are annoying, schizo bipolar. Why so much love?" Because you're wrong, sir, and it's fucking awesome. Magician Sapphire says, how much do I have to super chat you for you to review Streets of Fire? Sorry, my voice is going. I love it, but I really would like to hear your opinions of it. Yeah, that's like a biker gang weird thing where like it's kind of, it's not even like it's like it's got aesthetically like things from the 50s all the way up to the 80s. It's like this weird mishmash of different genres and stuff from what I remember. Yeah, I'd need to rewatch it, but I remember it being really like just weird when I seen it. What's the next one? Him Jeffy says, been a big fan for a while. Just wondering, will you do a review of Clint Eastwood's Cry Macho? I mean, man, I feel like Clint needs to retire now. Like he's 95 years old or something. He's produced some incredible movies, and I've certainly reviewed a few of them, but I don't know about his latest stuff. I feel like he might be past his prime at last. What's the next one? Yeah, Plastic African says, can you fly, Bobby? Yeah. No, Clarence! Aiden says, check out Black Sails. You'll love it. Believe that. Rockamuffin says, have you seen Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon? It's a lot of fun. I have not, mate. Brett Corbett said, thoughts on 310 to Yuma? I'd love to see you do a review on that movie. That's Christian Bale, as I believe. Yeah, that was a pretty good movie, I thought. Yeah, it's like a bounty hunter or something, as I recall, like a Western. Yeah, I think I remember it being pretty damn good. Torsten said, the main reason Hollywood sucks, you mentioned you like your characters in your books. Hollywood doesn't have their characters. They steal them. They have no love for them. They are tools for the message. Yep, and they like to repurpose other people's characters, which is the worst thing of all. Eric Waxman said, can you review Evangelion? The anime is insane. I can try if I get time. Gerald Armstrong, ever play any simulator games like plane or train simulators? Nah, I find them too boring. A friend of mine's got like a proper simulator setup with like full-on flight yoke, switches, like control panels, everything. Then I got to actually play the game, and I couldn't even like take off. It's like you need to literally know how to fly real planes in order to use it. It was just too fucking complex. Up All Night Reviews says, ever collaborated with Chris Stuckman? You and Chris are my favorite. There we go. I don't think he'd want to work with me somehow. John Sullivan said, hey man, I was struggling with writing my novel series for years, but the shitfest of late has actually given me inspiration. Any advice? Cheers. Yeah, just keep plugging away, man. And best of luck to you. When it comes to finding publishers and agents and stuff, like I say, check out the video I made on my second channel. It's got as much information as I can think to give people. Spencer Stabio said, good afternoon, old drunk. Have you read anything about the Lord of the Ring anime film that's in the works? The crew behind it involves Philippa Boyens, Alan Lee, and John Howe. Well, they're doing an anime as well. Let me see. Is it going to be like some spin-off or something? The War of the Rohirrim. It's an upcoming anime fantasy. Right. So it's New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers. It's set 250 years before the events of Lord of the Rings. Wow. Weird. Okay, I'm intrigued. So this has got nothing to do with what Amazon are making. This is just its own thing by New Line. I don't know much about it, but I'm interested. Redis the Riot Act says, have you seen The Empty Man? I have not. Oni said, Drinker, any thoughts on Planet of the Apes movies that came out a few years ago? Caesar is one of the best written film characters ever. Yeah, the second two especially, really good. Yeah, the motion capture was brilliant. Like just some of the most like impressive special effects work I've seen like that. Yeah, really cool movies. Like such a great take on the Planet of the Apes like concept. You know, better than the Tim Burton movie, that's for fucking sure. Sam Atwood said, talking of diamonds in the rough, have you seen Netflix's Sweet Tooth? I have not, I'm afraid, mate. Marcus Muyat says, how familiar are you with Yahtzee Crowshaw's game critiques? Yeah, he does zero punctuation. He's really good, actually. Really fucking funny. His humor is different, but the way you bring up serious points reminds me of his videos. Excellent in that case, because he's a hell of a guy to get compared to. His ability to compress like complex analysis into like a 4 or 5 minute video is just second to none. Matork1 says, greetings from Dundee, you sexy Raj. I was in Dundee getting completely fucked up at the weekend. Now I've got bad memories of it. Matthew Spaeth says, my son wants to know if you think you're age appropriate. Am I age appropriate? What the fuck? I mean, I'm age appropriate to do movie reviews, that's for sure. Alex Hoss says, evening drinker, can you recommend any books on creative writing? Love your Ryan Drake series. Keep up the great work, mate. You're an inspiration. Thank you very much. As for books, I'm told that Stephen King's On Writing is meant to be really good. Never read it. I've never read a single book on creative writing, in fact, so I don't know what to recommend beyond that. I just kind of figure it out as I go. Echo Chamberlain says, the rest of your life as a Hollywood scriptwriter or a minimum wage job, shop assistant in Methil, choose. I mean, the wages would be better in Hollywood, but I feel like working as a shop assistant in Methil would be more stimulating, so I'm going to go with that. Yeah. Holden Modify says, why no Chuck Norris classics reviews? Are you anti-American? Chuck Norris is the living embodiment of everything that is, was, or ever will be America. Yeah, I need to get some Chuck reviews in here pronto. Ged Billow says, Drinker, The Hill and The Offense. Great Sean Connery movies. Both Ian Bannon is brilliant in it. I was covering up my own writing there. Nice. I'll take a look. Didier Deharn says, do you watch any French movies from France or Quebec? Not really. I was trying to think of any that really sprung to mind there. Nah, nothing specifically French. Like, yeah, I was trying to think if I'd watched like things like Chocolat or what's the one? I'm sure it's something like Adeline or something like that. Oh fuck it, I can't remember. But yeah, not really got into that stuff, I'm afraid. Chuck Vincent said, hey drinker, thanks to you I end my conversations now by saying go away now. That's the perfect way to end any conversation. Yo-Yo says, if I ever go to Scotland, where should I go? England. Also, I'm very cautiously optimistic about the new Lord of the Rings TV series. I mean, I would be very cautious rather than optimistic. Yeah. City of Lost Children. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that one, actually. Yeah. Was that Luc Besson that did that? I need to check. But yeah, I remember that had it had the Pearl Man in it. Yeah. Lost Children. Director. I need to know if it was him who did it. No, it wasn't Luc Besson. It was Marc Caro and Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Yeah, I loved the visuals and stuff for that movie. Yeah, that was a good film, actually, now that I think about it. Batshit crazy, but yeah, good stuff. Jeanette, yeah. Yeah, that's a good example in that case. So I have seen a French film, yes. Alberta Strength says, when I'm drinking and watching you, it's like I'm not drinking alone. Oh, thank you. The drinker will always be here for you. Tim Douglas says, Last of Us series. Please no, they'll fuck it up. Daniel Flowers says, hi drinker, curious about your views on The Sopranos. For me, it was the genesis of some of the great TV we get these days. Yeah, it was definitely like kickstarted that golden era of TV where you had like proper like quality actors and good production values behind it. It wasn't really something I watched a lot, but I know it had a big impact. Matthew Black says, what movies have made you cry and not because it was bad? Yeah, bad movies just make me angry. Made me cry. I know when I rewatched It's a Wonderful Life. I did it like a review of it like last year. I'm pretty sure that still brought a tear to my eye at the end. Even me with my shriveled black heart, it stirred emotion in me. So that had an effect. Yeah, I found what was it? I was watching not that long ago, Jojo Rabbit. As funny as that movie was, it was pretty good. There were some really poignant bits in that, particularly near the end. That was pretty impressive. It didn't make me cry, but it did stir emotions in me. What's the next one? Yeah, Saw. Gory horror movie, but I feel it has the perfect amount. It's definitely not the goriest horror movie ever, that's for sure. Even the sequels just go way over the fucking score. But yeah, when I was talking about Jojo Rabbit there, I'll probably do a review of that soon, actually, because there was a few things I wanted to say about it. Hugh Harsher said, I'd love to gently caress that beard of yours. Like, I'll do it now. There you go. Best reviewer out there. Going away now. Best from Germany. Thanks, man. Jordan Williams, you should watch The Wheel of Time on Amazon. It was their dry run before Lord of the Rings, and it fell prey to every issue Lord of the Rings is about to. Fans were very let down. Yeah, I've heard nothing but bad things. J.S. Pena says, you hear they're taking off Marvel Netflix TV shows. Taking off, you mean like censoring them? Lewis Nasani said, have you watched BBC Casanova? No, I haven't, because I generally don't watch much BBC stuff now. Dean De Silva said, in light of Lord of the Rings has gone diverse, do you think we'll see more diversity in Black Panther? Nope, because that door only swings one way. Banjo Xe says, what's your opinion on Chris Evans? Woke privileged crybaby, his acting is mediocre at best. Yeah, Captain America was the best thing that ever happened to him. Can't fault his performance in the Marvel movies. Don't really have a great opinion of him in real life, but like I just avoid him on Twitter. Bennywise710 says, what's your favorite movie of all time? I honestly can't pick one movie out of thousands that I've probably seen. I'd have to pin it down to like top 5 or top 10 or something, but that's the kind of thing I'll probably work into my book that I'm going to be doing. Tim Allen says, what was your first anime you watched and did you like it? I think it was Castle in the Sky when I was probably about, 12 years old or something. I had no idea what anime was. I just remember seeing this and I was like, damn, this looks so different from all the other stuff I've seen, but I'm really intrigued by it. So yeah, that was probably the first one. And yeah, I did like it. I still like it even now. Alex Perez said, what do you think of a Spider-Man TV series that slightly follows the Ultimate Spider-Man universe? I think that'd be awesome. I don't know if I'd want to see it on a sort of televised basis. Probably feel like Spider-Man deserves to be on the big screen. Favorite Vietnam War movie. There's a few that I really like. Platoon is probably up there. I really fucking like that movie. Wasn't as big a fan of Apocalypse Now. Like, again, I recognize how significant it was, but it's just so batshit crazy. And knowing all the shit that went on behind the scenes, it almost sours me on it. I really liked Bat 21, which probably hardly anyone's heard of, but it's a Gene Hackman movie about a pilot that gets shot down behind enemy lines in Vietnam. And it's really fucking good. And We Were Soldiers was a good movie as well, the Mel Gibson one. Very different from most Vietnam flicks in that it's not really about soldiers kind of, losing their mind and fighting like Viet Cong that they never really see and just getting taken out by like traps and stuff. It's like more of a pitched battle. It's quite an unusual thing to see in a Vietnam movie, but yeah, it was that was a really good film too. Next one, Hamburger Hill was another good one. That was just an absolute grind of a battle, that one. MV get a Texas. What's this? Texas Chili's said, thoughts on Roadhouse and Commando. I love both of them. Great movies. Would love to see a drinker's list of top 10 or 20 80s action flicks. That'd be great to compile, actually. But yeah, Roadhouse and Commando, both fun movies. Carl Marcus Lillers Cog says, "Hello, drinker. Sorry, I haven't read your books, but yeah, have you any plans on writing sci-fi?" Not at the moment, I'm afraid. There's too many other things I got to do, and sci-fi, much like fantasy, I think they take so much work, so much more work than just a regular book, because you've really got to construct a whole universe to go around what you're doing. Ghost in the Craig said, "Love you, drinker. Keep insanity and binge drinking alive. You're the best, man. What's a favorite song you'd have as some background music?" Yeah, I don't. It's weird because when I'm working, I don't have music on because I find it actually distracts me. Same with them when I'm writing books and stuff. I end up getting caught up in the music, and I lose my sort of thread of what I'm doing. So I don't tend to have background music on. Weirdly. Alan Cohn said, "The Legend of Vox Machina is a great fun animated fantasy series that has blood, violence, drinking, and sex, all combined with good writing." I'm sold. Lucal X said, "Hey, drinker, love your content. Are you any good at an American accent?" Nope, I'm not going to do one here. Connor Mitchell says, "Thoughts on There Will Be Blood." Good movie. Great performance from Daniel Day-Lewis. And yeah, interesting direction, like long stretches where there's no dialogue. Not many films you get that in now. People just can't shut the fuck up in so many films nowadays. Mark Shilton says, "What's your favorite film of all time and why?" There we go. The question I was unable to answer. Matt Barry said, "Evening. In your love of horror, have you seen You're Next and Ready or Not? Ace movies and female leads done well. Capable, intelligent, and realistic." Nice. Stephen De La Vega says, "Will you review the new Daily Wire film Shut In?" Yeah, people were asking me that earlier. I will probably. I'm gonna give that a watch. Caleb Baker says, "I quote you, 'There's always more you can do,' line from the TLJ video all the time." Now my mom even says it. Thanks for that. Christ, that's a blast from the past. I'd forgotten about that one. Just give me 1 second. I'm just seeing how many more I got here. Plop Pill says, "Have you seen Being There, 1979 film with Peter Sellers?" No, I'm afraid not, mate. This is Tweak says, "Are you a fan of cartoons like the old Cartoon Network shows, Courage, Dexter, etc.?" I think those ones probably were after my time as a kid, so I wouldn't really have seen them. Anthony Sansom said, "Did you watch the TV series Utopia?" I watched the British one. Quite like that. Age of the Keyboard Warrior says, "Are you going to check out Shut In?" Yes. Rick O'Neill gave me $5. Cheers, mate. Vidar says, "With Uncharted out, do you have a favorite movie based on a video game? Why can't Hollywood make good video game movies?" I don't know. They keep taking them in weird directions. Any good ones that I can think of? I'm struggling here. The Tomb Raider remake one was inoffensive. It's probably the best I can say about it. Like, Alicia Vikander was okay as Lara. She just kind of faded into the background a little bit. And I did quite like the first Angelina Jolie movie just because Jolie was hot as fuck in it. And it didn't take itself too seriously. But yeah, Hollywood doesn't have a good pedigree with video games. Photo Droner says, "Have you seen Peacemaker?" Nope, not yet. James Rennick said, "Do you think there's any hope left for Star Wars?" No, not really. Rick O'Neill, "Will there be a Ryan Drake movie?" Fingers crossed there will, actually. The people working on it seem to be really confident that they're going to get something done this year. I think the unspecified virus of unknown origin is on the decline, so it should make it easier to get films made. Wazel Shaw said, "Thanks for all the insights and entertainment over the last year or two. Have you seen Dirty Rotten Scoundrels?" Yes, I have. Quite liked it. Nina said, "Thank you for validating my feelings about all these shows and movies. If you're ever in New York, drinks on me. I'll hold you to that. Thank you very much." Orbital Hub said, "Howdy, Will and chat. We're winning big. I'm producing a sci-fi book about the United States Space Force versus the Galactic Deep State Cabal. Appleseed Esquire." Cheers, man. Ged Billow, "Review The Commitments, drinker." If I can. Kyle Smith, "No questions tonight, drinker. Just wanted to thank you because you're our voice. We need you on this platform, and I'm glad you're here." Thank you, mate. I hope there are people in Hollywood who listen to you. That would be really nice if they would. Nebuli said, "Hi, drinker. Love your content. Have you seen The Responder with Martin Freeman? Personally, I loved it. I saw like the first episode of it, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Martin Freeman's not just acting like Martin Freeman for once; he's playing a kind of fairly convincing character. I didn't watch the rest of it, but yeah, the first episode was decent. Oscar Bjortomt Hog, sorry if I fucked up your name there, says, "Have you seen the Norwegian movie Amundsen, a documentary about the polar explorer with the same name?" I haven't, I'm afraid, man. But yeah, that's the guy who reached the South Pole. Very cool. Michael Kaplinger says, "I'm losing my voice. Drinker, I've been with you since the beginning. You've inspired me to finally finish writing my screenplay. It's about wildland firefighters in Colorado." Excellent, mate. Good luck with it. Some Norwegian guy. "Are there any other sites I can buy your books from besides Amazon? Also, any idea when your dolls are being sent?" Yeah, they should be shipping, I believe, in the next week or two. They said March, so yeah, that's when they're meant to go. Yes, that's the plushies. But yeah, other sites, probably Barnes & Noble, stuff like that. You can get them on Audible as well. Leroy Jenkins, thoughts on EFAP episodes on the Book of Boba Fett. I haven't really seen them because I just don't have enough time to get through all that stuff. I know that they go into a great deal of detail, more than I ever could, but I don't have time to watch like 10 hours of content for that. Peter Quinn says, "Do you like The Last of the Mohicans? What a movie." I really do. Yeah, it's a great film. Beautifully shot. Great fight scenes, great characters. Daniel Day-Lewis giving it his all as always. Yeah, good stuff. Michael C says, "Cheers, Drinker. Have you ever watched Dark? I think it's been brought up in some stream or other, but I can't remember. I would definitely recommend it." Yeah, a lot of people have asked me about it. I haven't seen it yet. Chow Silva says, "Hey, Drinker, Amazon's Legends of Vox Machina. Did you see it? Nice animation." I haven't, mate. I'm afraid not. Kay Marie said, "Could you give a drunken shout out to my daughter Jade? You inspired her to start a movie critique channel." Nice one. Well, good on you, Jade. Give it your best and hope you succeed. Twisted Logic Gaming says, "Twisted Logic Gaming is the best Dwarf Fortress YouTuber. Dwarf Fortress is best game." Okay. Kiel Kevenbo says, "If you haven't seen Dark, you should. Extremely well written and acted." Man, people just cannot say enough fucking good things about Dark. Jesus. Average Joe says, "Thank you for the hours of entertainment. This is long overdue." Thanks, man. MK said, "Why do critics not judge movies based on the film's objectives and always expect high art, e.g. dumb comedies, Dumb and Dumber, K9 with Jim Belushi?" I don't know, because I'm not like that. Like, I can absolutely appreciate like movies that are just a bit dumb, but they're fun. They're just entertainment. You can enjoy them for what they are. There's plenty of films like that. I don't need everything to be a fucking Oscar winner or some deep exploration of the human condition. No, absolutely. Dave Thompson already sent my Children of Men question. I think you'd love it. Yeah, I have seen it, and it's a good film. The cinematography is great in it. Justin Mundell says, "Thoughts on A24 films in general?" Give me a couple of examples and I'll tell you. Let's see. Okay, A24. Oh, don't bring that up. Right. So, what have they done recently? Okay. Christ, they've made a lot. Yeah, I have not heard of most of their films. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Haven't seen enough to tell you. I presume they're all quite low budget stuff. Yeah, not sure there. Okay, made it through all the super chats from the other night. So yay, we've done it. Now we just need to get through all the ones from tonight before my vocal cords die on me. Damn, this is a bad idea when you're got a cold or whatever. Hold on. Let me just refresh the list here. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Lobocop said, "Hey, Drinker, I must say you've disappointed me in your video about Uncharted. I'll let you know that Rebel Wilson would be a superb predator." You need a big cloaking device for her. Oh, actually, wait. She's actually lost loads of weight recently, has she not? Let me see. Yeah, goddamn, she really has. Yeah, I retract my statement about her. Yeah, she's really got in shape. So I mean, good on her. But yeah, I still don't think she'd be a good fit for Predator. Mr. Wise Guy said, "Are you going to review Peacemaker?" I loved it. I probably will. I'm going to watch it and see how it goes. Bird Up asked me, "Have you checked out Running Wild, the OG of pirate metal?" Now you've got my interest. David Hands gave me $5. Cheers. Welsh Nick said, "Have you seen The Dead Don't Die 2019 with Bill Murray and an all-star cast? Honestly, you could tear a new one in a review. Yes, it's that bad." Bill Murray picking a bad movie. Who would have thought it? Yeah, I'll need to look at that one in that case. Dragovin8 said, "If you're going to watch Berserk, only watch the 90s anime or the 3 movies, but both only cover the Golden Age arc. Skip the 2016 anime. It's god-awful." Okay. Dragon Fist 900. Drinker, have you seen or read The Last Kingdom? Yeah, as I was saying earlier, started watching it, didn't quite get into it. Frozen in the 80s. Drinker, I'd love a live stream of you and Johnny Lawrence talking about Iron Eagle. That would be my perfect evening. Feeling Dangerous 113 says, "Hello, my friend from Ohio." Cheers, mate. Honor Immortal says, "Greatest detective, Batman or Sherlock?" Batman, because he can beat people up. Commando 21, do you think Avatar 2 will be any good? Probably not. The first one wasn't even that good, really. Honor Immortal says, "Greatest canon, Mega Man or Cyborg?" Mega Man. That's his whole arm, isn't it? Claudio Rogajan, "If Scotland is so bad, why don't you move?" I can't. They won't let me leave. Astro Pictures says, "Hey, Drinker, how would you like Indy 5 to end?" I'd like it to just not start. That would be ideal. But yeah, I don't know. Indy gets like, what can you do to a film like that? I don't even know where you could take it. At least with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it ended kind of nicely. Like, Indy got married to Marion, and he kind of takes his hat back from Shia LaBeouf. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not retiring yet, you little prick." That was fair enough. Link Aside gave me $2 Canadian. Cheers, mate. Stefan Bannock said, "Thanks for your work." Thank you very much. Appreciated. David Hahn, "Is there any real hope for the Hollywood movie industry, or will it become more entrenched in politics, even with their obvious monetary loss? What will it take for good movies to be made again?" I think eventually they'll give in, because the people who run these studios really care about making money. They don't care about the message. They'll just have to purge their studios of activists, I guess. But yeah, they need to be humbled. Sabin Durain gave me $5. Thank you. Eddie A said, "What's your favorite book to write?" Or what was my favorite? Probably the first one, Redemption, just because, like, when you do that first book, it's just like that special experience that you're just never going to have again. It's like the first time you have sex. You're probably going to have better experiences later, but you never forget your first. So yeah, this is my first one. Redemption was my favorite. Pablo Pasquera said, "Hey, Drinker, have you got a chance to see Reacher?" I'm gonna. Yeah. I just wanted to finish up All of Us Are Dead before I started it. Pete Michelli said, "Hey, Drinker, any thoughts on the Harry Potter films?" I mean, they're fine. I never really cared much about Harry Potter, if I'm honest, so they never made much impact on me. Party Pucks says, "Adult Swim TV series Blade Runner Black Lotus. Thoughts?" I don't have any, I'm afraid. I don't know about it. Eric Kinney, "Did you hear about how Amazon only has the rights to Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit? What's your take on that and how their series will turn out?" Yeah, that's an interesting one. I feel like they're going to have to omit a lot of like characters and lore to make it fit. So, yeah, I don't have high hopes, really. James Barnum says, "Hey, Drinker, have you seen the Amazon UK Lord of the Rings Superfans review trailer for Rings of Power? Truly awful." Yeah, my my spine just about cringed right out of my body. It was shite. Yeah, a bunch of people who clearly know almost nothing about Lord of the Rings. Gary from Nerdrotic's just done an amazing video on it, with like the intro. They've edited together all the times they say diversity and inclusion, and it's just like it goes on for minutes. It's just ridiculous. They were wise to hide that. They probably shouldn't have made it in the first place. Garrick Jordan says, have you seen Reacher and your thoughts? Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I am going to. The Magin Trunks says, Drinker, you Primarch of the Immortal Emperor's Legion. Yes! Did you manage to listen to Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds? Not yet, I'm afraid. Yeah, I've heard that recommended. It's like the audio play of it. Thomas Latham said, did you watch anime like Princess Mononoke or Avatar Last Airbender? So I watched Princess Mononoke, as I was saying earlier. It's one of my faves. Haven't seen the Avatar one. I just saw the shitty live-action movie. Mark Kinsella, did you see Amazon's Lord of the Rings Superfans video on YouTube? It's cringe, the message. Yeah, we'll be talking about that on Open Bar, for sure. James Kelly. Hey, a lot of people ask you what your favorite movies are. I'm curious what movies pissed you off the most, as in most disappointing or just plain bad. Yeah, good question. So, to get the obvious one out of the way, I guess The Last Jedi would be totally, up there with some of the worst, just because it did so much fucking damage. I almost don't care about movies that are just unique properties that are just bad. I'm like, yeah, I can just laugh at that for being shit. But like when they take something that was once good and ruin it, that's when they get me pissed off. Same with the Ghostbusters 2016 movie. Same with things like The Predator, just like fucking up everything. Same with Terminator Dark Fate. Just, taking good franchises and just ruining them. That's what really pisses me off. Alfie Barrett said, have you ever made a mistake on a review? Yeah, a few times. Sometimes it's just like a basic factual review or a factual thing that I've just gotten wrong, or I've just mistyped it or whatever, and I've just not picked it up. What was it recently? Yeah, when I talked about Arcane, and I talked about being based on a game, I think I labeled like League of Legends as being like an online shooter when it's not. It's like a battle arena game, and a lot of people picked me up on that. There was another one. I think probably the biggest video I've ever done. It's like a Ghostbusters scene comparison video, and I talk about the amount of time that each sort of scene lasts from one movie to the other. Basically, my point being the original movie was a lot quicker and more efficient. And then I fucked up the comparison between them, like one's 3 times longer than the other or whatever. And I just got basic maths wrong because I wasn't concentrating. And it's been seen by millions of people. So, yeah, millions of people know I can't do maths now. Gilly Writes Comics said, Drinker, I'm creator of Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, a 90s comic book love letter to nostalgia centered around 3 rad space capybaras. Since mainstream comics is now focused on the message, can you give us indie grinders a plug? Well, there you go. For people watching, Galactic Rodents of Mayhem. It's a little indie comic. Give them some support if you feel inclined to do so. Just one second. Excuse me. That was actually, Afterlife. That was probably a review where I think I was a bit generous to it. Thinking back on it now, it was pretty shameless pandering for the most part. I think I was just pleased that it wasn't like as much of a disaster as Ghostbusters 2016, but yeah, I can definitely see the weaknesses in it now when I look back on it. So maybe I was a bit nicer to it than it deserved. Next one, Mickelrath says, hey Drinker, is there any film that is generally disliked by critics and audiences that you really like? Yeah, I think we talked about that earlier actually. So what was the example I gave? It was like Rambo Last Blood, where audiences seem to kind of like it and I didn't. I got a bit of pushback on that review. But but yeah, disliked by critics and audiences that you really like. Trying to think of examples off the top of my head. Yeah, I was talking with Mahler once about like these sort of dumb Michael Bay movies that you got back in the 90s. Films like Armageddon, which kind of get slated. I've got a real soft spot for them because they're just so ridiculously over the top and earnest. Like, I don't mind, they're just dumb fun, I guess is how I describe them. So yeah, it's probably things like that. They're like guilty pleasures. Justin McCulloch says, "What's your version of a perfect movie?" So what do I look for in a film? One, just a great sense of pace. I love movies that just never drag. Always feel like you're pushing the plot forward. Films that are just tightly written, that can do that kind of holy trinity of writing, where you can move the plot forward, you can tell us something about the characters, and give us information that we need as the audience to better understand what's happening. Like, basically, like plot, world building, and characters all wrapped into one scene. That takes good writing to be able to do stuff like that. So that's the kind of thing I look for. And then just in a general sense, just likable characters that I find interesting and that I care about. And then ideally, yeah, a good story that drives it all forward. I know it's all just very general stuff I'm saying there, but like, yeah, like I can't just write you a perfect movie right here and now, but that would be the traits I would look for in a good film. MW said, "Hello, Drinker. How about a review of Band of Brothers? It may not exactly fit the channel profile due to subject matter, but I'm sure it's worth reviewing given how much mediocrity we're served." Yeah, Band of Brothers was great back in the day. I can't believe it's almost been like 20 years since it came out. Or has it? It was the early 2000s. Let me check. Is it really that long ago? 2001. Yeah, fucking hell. 20 years that's been out. Yeah, but it's an excellent series. Acting great. The battle scenes were incredible. Just right on par with Saving Private Ryan. But yeah, I'd be happy to talk about that. Maxwell Wishules said, "Ever considered watching Attack on Titan? Very riveting and complex anime, and its creator praised Breaking Bad. Sorry. A review from you would be interesting. Also, what's your thoughts on Red Dawn?" So as far as Attack on Titan goes, I haven't seen it, but it's been recommended to me loads of times. So if I'm going to be looking at anime, that's definitely one to watch. Yeah, here for the sexy voice. I'm afraid less sexy tonight because it's getting pretty raspy. My thoughts on Red Dawn. So the original, yeah, I really liked it. Good fun movie. Just one of your classic 80s action films, I guess. This 1218 says, "Mr. Drinker, the powerful, what's your thoughts on Guy Ritchie and his movies?" That's the same question I got asked before, actually. Yeah, I like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch, and also Man from U.N.C.L.E. Sam Westall gave me £10. Thanks, mate. Darwin Evolution. "Speaking of being harsh to films, would you like to do that one that you cringefully calls..." Sorry, what? "Would you like to do that to one that cringefully calls critics like you out?" Yes, I'm talking about Scream. Okay, sorry, I couldn't quite read what you were saying there. Yeah, I've heard that Scream, the new one, it kind of takes pot shots at like YouTube reviewers and stuff. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll be interested. Ghost in the Craig said, "Cheers." Cheers to you, mate. Curtis Nelson, "Any chance you can do a Drinker recommends of Conan the Barbarian?" Written by Oliver Stone, John Milius, directed by Milius. Yep. I already did a happy hour on it with Andre from Midnight's Edge. But yeah, I mean, it's a great film. I could do another review, I suppose. Ryan Anderson says, "Hey, Drinker, you rock." Thank you. "I really appreciated your review of The Expanse, one of my all-time favorite TV shows. So glad Amazon saved it. Cheers." Yeah, they do occasional good things, Amazon. I don't know why it never got more attention, actually. It's a good show. Thoughts on Interstellar? Yeah, a good concept. Let down by a shitty ending, I think. I'm pretty sure they had to rewrite the ending because it was originally bleaker. Simon the Serene says, salutations from the Czech Republic. Drinker, have been following your channel for a while. Keep it up. By the way, do you have any plans for some more Drinker Fixies videos? Cheers, mate. Yeah, I will be. I'll be doing some more. Yeah, I haven't done a Fixies for a while, actually, so it'd be good to get back into that. Adam Grunther says, have you seen Peacemaker and did you like it? Not yet, sorry. Rubium37 said, recent subscriber, indirect long-time viewer through EFAP. I'd like to know if you're gay. I've got Tatiana, of course I'm not. Therefore, I am 5 said, what are your thoughts on The Green Knight? Haven't seen it, so I don't know, man. Liam Mulligan, hey Drinker, have you checked out the FX show The Americans? Keep up the great work. I watched like the first 2 seasons of The Americans, and I quite liked it. Quite like the concept, showing that Cold War from the Soviet perspective, and the fact that they're spies in America and they're starting to get like absorbed into the culture, but they've still got this mission that they're trying to do. Yeah, it was quite good. I think I just ran out of steam with it. Uneven Streets says, Matthew Vaughn's been trying to make a Superman movie for years. He said he wants it to be bright and colourful. Do you think he would do a very good job based off his track record? I mean, he can't do much worse than Zack Snyder's done with him. I'd just like to see an optimistic Superman again. Neil Oakley said, Drinker, what are your thoughts on Strange Days? Much underrated, I think. Keep up the extraordinarily good work. Thank you very much. What is that again? I'm losing my mind and my voice. What is this again? Strange Days. So it's Catherine Bigelow, written by James Cameron. Oh, yeah. So as a black marketeer, recordings that use the recorder's memories and physical sensations as he attempts to cover the truth. Yeah, so it's like a kind of detective sci-fi story. Yeah, I remember it being all right. Like it's been a long, long time since I've seen it, but I think it was quite good. Retrofaction says, have one on me. Thanks for the content. Thank you. Also, Master and Commander is a fantastic watch. Also, I think John Carpenter was a master director. They Live is basically prophetic at this point. Yeah, it's fucking scary. Michael Poreski says, have you watched Baraka? It has no dialogue, plot, character development, but has a better themes than most Hollywood movies. I find that easy to believe. But I haven't seen it, I'm afraid, man. Jay Hopkins said, 3 classics to recommend. 36 Hours, Failsafe, and House of the Long Shadows. Fair enough, thank you. Goddess of Whim 2003 says, hey handsome, just dropping a like before I go to work. Can't wait till my plushie arrives next month. Love from California. Thank you very much. And yeah, may you get much enjoyment from your plushie. Next one, Accessible Army gave me $2. Cheers. Link Aside gave me 28 Canadian dollars. Thank you. Senator Mayo, thoughts on Cormac McCarthy books and their film adaptations, The Road, No Country, etc. Yeah, so ironically, The Road and No Country are the ones that I've that I've seen, and The Road's the one that I've read. Yeah, good book, bleak as fuck. The movie absolutely reflects that, so I think it was a pretty solid adaptation. Hadn't read the book version of No Country for Old Men, but apparently it was in production hell for like years because people just thought it couldn't get made into a movie. I thought it was a pretty solid film. Yeah, not exactly a complex storyline, but yeah, the character work was great. OG Refreak says, I love watching your reviews and my wife loves your sign out. Have you seen the TV show Chuck? Just the odd episodes. I never really got into it. But yeah, it was pretty decent when I watched it. James Minor says, Drinker, have you ever seen The Ice Pirates? Your thoughts? I haven't, I'm afraid, man. I don't know much about it. Gustep, have you seen True Detective Season 1 with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson? Would love a review. Yeah, I saw bits of it. And I remember Alexandra Daddario in it. Perfect. It's like she was designed in a fucking lab, man. She's just awesome. But yeah, True Detective Season 1, haven't seen all of it, but I did enjoy what I saw. That was pretty decent. I thought it went a bit shit in Season 2, apparently. Excuse me. Sebastian Emmons says, thoughts on Super Croots anime from Mark Miller. I haven't seen it. I don't know, man. Claudio Rogajan, why don't you like Chris Stuckman? Yeah, I just think like his reviews have just gotten very pedestrian and kind of just really surface level. Like he tends not to really like delve into the mechanics of films anymore. It just kind of gives like a surface level. Oh yes, I like this, and the acting was good or whatever. Like it just doesn't really give you much. Accessible Army says, would love to hear your thoughts on Van Helsing 04 and Get Carter 1971. Van Helsing, I would absolutely file under that category of like movies that kind of got slated at the time, or that critics had a go at, but I quite like. It fits perfectly in there. I thought it was a nice, fun movie. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I'm sure it was the same director who did The Mummy. So that's probably a good example of the kind of tone of it. I liked it, and I thought Hugh Jackman was really good as Van Helsing. And it's got Kate Beckinsale in it again. She was just on fire in the 2000s. I'd like to do a review on that, actually. Get Carter as well. Michael Caine, sorry. That was a good film. I don't know what fucking Sylvester Stallone was thinking doing a remake of it. My chin looks super pointy. Yeah, sorry. it's needing cut, actually. I need to give him a beard to trim. Andre Rutz says, just wondering if you ever had formal training in psychology or philosophy, because your analysis of characters and plots are amazing. Thank you. I mean, I'm sure I've been psychoanalyzed a few times after all those restraining orders, but never had any training. I just know a little bit about storytelling, I guess. Jar of Mayo said, if you ever review an anime, watch Fist of the North Star. It's like Stallone fighting like Bruce Lee in the Mad Max universe. You'll love it. All those things together sound good. Zam Valen said, if Rags gave you a fursuit, would you wear it? Obviously. By the way, I love all your content. I take a drink every time you hit me with sarcasm. Thanks, mate. Cheers, man. I'm still waiting for that fursuit then. There you go. Ghostbusters 2. Did you enjoy it, and does it deserve the criticism it received? I liked it. Yeah. I like that film. Definitely doesn't measure up to the first one, but I don't necessarily need it to. I thought it's still got individually entertaining moments. Bill Murray actually looks like he's trying in it. That was fine. Next one, Crash TV. Thoughts on Multiverse of Madness? Kind of cautious about it. Like I was saying earlier, I don't have much faith in Marvel after what they've done in Phase 4, but hopefully there's a bit of creativity involved in this one. So I'll wait and see. The trailer looked okay. Excuse me. Carrier, a Raccoon City story, said, what's your opinion on Desperado and Sin City? I'm working on my own animated graphic novel, like the comic book cutscenes in Max Payne 1 and 2. Nice. And those two films are heavy inspirations for me. Yeah. Desperado, good stuff. Salma Hayek, excellent. Sin City, the kind of visuals of it are obviously really striking, just straight out of the graphic novel. I liked, pretty much the whole cast in it was awesome. Mickey Rourke was great. Bruce Willis was good in it. The action was really stylized, nice and violent. I thought it was a good film. Joshua Cruz says, thoughts on The Boys making a bunch of spin-off shows? Not sure I want that, if I'm honest. Excuse me. Like season 2 even was starting to get a bit iffy, so I'm a bit worried about where that show's going to go. All right, next one. Lance Burton says, best Jack Daniels flavor. I quite like the Jack Daniels apple, actually. You can just sip that neat. All good. It's quite tasty. I don't really like honey Jack. It's too sweet for my taste. Sebastian Emmons says, at least Spider-Man No Way Home gave us what we wanted to see. The 3 live-action Spider-Men fighting together against their collective villains. Yeah. Sometimes you can just give people fan service. If it's if it's woven into a good story, then it's okay. Jackan Robinson says, love your channel and the well-expressed ideas. What were your first years like with the channel? Were there struggles you faced? I wasn't really aware of it because really when I started, I just was dicking around with YouTube. I wasn't really trying to get the channel to grow or anything like that. I was just having a bit of fun. Then I left for like 10 years to go write my books and just concentrate on my writing career. And it was really just happenstance that I came back into it, made a few videos, then one or two just really took off, and it's been pretty much non-stop since then. So I've never really had that experience of like just a slow growth. Like some channels have that kind of long road ahead of them where they just gradually build up. Mine just, I don't know, had a video go viral and it was like overnight, thousands upon thousands of subscribers, and I didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to do next. But yeah, it's worked out great so far. The Hiking Viking said, "Hail Drinker, we'd love to hear your take on The Legend of Vox Machina. It's a D&D inspired adult animated game series on Prime. Big Guardians vibes." Cool. I'll need to watch it then. Jadin said, "Thanks for all the content, Drinker. Cheers, brother." Thank you very much, man. Thanks for the donation. Sam Cochran, "Hey, big fan of your movie analysis and reviews. Question, has anyone asked you yet about what you thought about that Amazon Superfan dumpster fire?" Yeah, they have. And I'll be talking more about it on Open Bar this week. Christopher said, "Hey, Drinker, haven't watched your stream of it because I'm avoiding spoilers, but what's your early opinion of Horizon Forbidden West? Loved the first game, and Forbidden West is leaving me conflicted so far." Yeah. Aloy's character's changed a bit, and I don't know if they're just trying to make her more mature or whatever, because she's been through more from the first game. I just found her a bit less likable. But interestingly, you can alter her responses at certain times and make her more sympathetic, which is interesting. Graphically, I can't fault it, although I did find a fucking bug with it today that I put up on Twitter where Aloy just got locked into the fucking like crouched animation and I couldn't make her move properly. And she just kind of skidded everywhere around the map. It was bizarre. So it feels like it's still kind of a buggy version of the game. They need to iron some of the kinks out. Based on the size of the map that I'm dealing with, though, the world map, it looks like it's going to be an enormous game. Like, this is not going to be a quick completion. But I mean, it looks good so far. I'll say that. I'll be generous with it and say that I kind of like what they're doing story wise, and I'm interested to see where it goes. What's the next one? Professor Chaos says, "What were your thoughts on the trailer?" Nope. I'm not sure which one. Amazon, like the Rings of Power one. Yeah, it looks pretty bland. Just from what's in the trailer. Some bits of it just look garbage as well, like that bit of Galadriel climbing the mountain with a fucking dagger. Andrew McCarroll says, "Have you ever thought about doing a B-movie compilation review? We'd love to see your reaction to some of these atrocious films." Yeah, for sure. There's plenty of bad ones out there. Selzy said, "What's the crack, Drinker? Tell me, have you ever seen Dark, the sci-fi Netflix show? If so, where's the review? Must grab a pint when you stroll through Ireland." Man, how many people are going to ask me about that? Gracie said, "Tomb Raider Underworld, the PS2 version, stream with game statistic when?" Fucking that'd be interesting. Yeah, that's got the worst controls of any Tomb Raider game ever. Model What You See says, "Drinker, no one's talking about the Lightyear trailer and the bait and switch." Yeah, I just kind of switched off from that. I was like, I don't want to watch this film. Don't do it. Michael Sanchez says, "Kate from Netflix, your thoughts?" Kate, what is this? What is this one? Oh, yeah, I heard about this. So, yeah, she's an assassin. It's meant to be good, is it not? Well, I think, people were saying that she was quite good in it. So, yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm intrigued by it. Matt Carpenter said, "Will you do a review of the Wheel of Time series on Amazon? And did you read the books?" No and no, sadly. Well, sadly, I've never read the books, but I'm not sad that I'm not going to be watching the Amazon one because it just looks, it's meant to be shit from what people are saying. Night King 01 says, Lord of the Rings Ring of Power writers need to read some Joseph Campbell. Andrew McCarroll said, please refer to J.J. Abrams as Jar Jar Abrams. Yeah, everyone does. Jimmy Smith, Essex lad here. Please roast Essex in the next video. Yeah, I usually just take the piss out of Scotland, but it's about time I move south. Mr. Ghosta5 says, Drinker, I think El Mariachi would make a great video as it would give an opportunity to talk about how you don't need money to make a good movie. True. And how movie budgets have gotten out of control. Yeah, I think that they're sometimes a victim of having too much cash at hand. Yeah, El Mariachi. Excellent. Scottish Nerd says, Drinker, does Dundee? That's a movie I'd pay to see. I don't think you wanted to see the end results of it. Sebastian Emmons says, any Guillermo del Toro movies? Mimic, Pan's Lab. Mimic, I thought was really good, actually. Yeah, that's a totally underrated film that people just don't seem to talk about now. But yeah, I like that one. Good horror. Did Del Toro do Blade 2? Let me just check. Because if so, I did like that one. Yeah. So Del Toro directed Blade 2, and I thought it was pretty decent. Donk said, hey, Drinker, ever seen Redline? Nuts to Butts Animation nearly bankrupted the studio. Shit, no. Don't know much about it. DM said, ever hear about Pan's Labyrinth, dubbed movie? Yeah, I think is it dubbed? I wasn't aware of that. What was it originally? Oh, yeah, so... All right, so it's Spanish-Mexican originally. Okay, right. Yeah, that was some good horror right there. Yeah. No, I must have seen the dubbed one. I guess it never twigged for me. Maybe it was a while ago because I've seen it. I just kind of forgot how it was done. Fair enough. Morningwood says, Beverly Hills Ninja better be in your top 10 comedies. Yeah. I'll need to compile it first. CyrilX369 said, you should watch Firefly. It's a space western. Yeah, it's great. Also, please review the Farscape series. I've reviewed one. Yeah, I've reviewed one of the episodes from Farscape that was my personal favorite. But yeah, I need to do the whole show in general. And yeah, Firefly was one of those ones I never really watched. I know people are big fans of it. They only got one season, didn't it? Yeah, what's the next one? Yeah, Toby King said, did you like True Detective Season 1 or Killer Joe? Yeah, so Season 1, like I said before, like I kind of dipped in and out of it. I never watched the whole thing, but I did like what I saw. Mr. Ginger said, would you review the original Das Boot series or film? I already have. Yeah, go on my second channel, you'll see it. Best series I've seen, Hail the Emperor, Drinker. Thank you. And yeah, go to Critical Drinker After Hours and you'll see a review for Das Boot there. It's great. Christopher Horton says, Uncharted is my favorite game. Sad that it sucked. Yeah, great series. Shame about the film. Horsemeat said, Drinker, do you like metal music? I recall you saw Ailstorm recently. If not, what music preferences get you through the day? Keep up the awesome work. Yeah, I do like. I like a bit of metal, and I like pirate metal. For some reason, it just really appeals to me. It's just the sense of humor of it. I like it. Excuse me. Don't have much left in my voice. Civvy Space M said, thanks to all the good tips. Thanks for all the good tips and the time you saved me to avoid woke stuff. You should seize the new Lord of the Rings series and make it good by all means necessary. Yeah, if only I could get in there. William Claw says, are we ever going to get a Reign of Fire review, Drinker? Yeah, that's a film that people don't talk about anymore. It was like Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey. I quite like the premise of it, like fucking fighting dragons with modern weapons. Why the hell not? Yeah, I thought it was all right. Andrew McCarroll says, if you could choose any particular content from the Star Wars universe to make a screenplay of, what would it be about? Man, it feels like Disney's probably mined it all out by now. You know, we've got TV shows for pretty much anything. Anything and everything. I don't know, man. Maybe the sort of the Darth Vader, like, in between time, like from Revenge of the Sith up until A New Hope, what he was up to during that time. I think you could probably do something really interesting with that. But I've got this horrible feeling they're going to try that themselves. Timothy Morale says, "Cheers from the clan, Morale. What do you think about the new trailer? The trailer for New Moon Knight. I recommend the stream European Lore. This kid is really great on Tolkien and rips Rings of Power." Yes, fair enough for the recommendation. For Moon Knight, I thought it was all right. You know, I'm interested enough to give it a little watch. It's good to see Jason Isaacs, or not Jason, Oscar Isaac. I keep getting those two mixed up. You know, good to see him doing more stuff, and he looks pretty good in it. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the super chats here. Damn, sorry. It's quite a lot here. Oh, yeah, here. Claudio Rogajan says, A24 made The Lighthouse and Midsummer. Did they? Because I was just looking through their filmography and I didn't see them. No, that's fair enough. So I guess, yeah, they specialize in these like smaller, lower budget films. I mean, I certainly enjoyed The Lighthouse. Not so much Midsummer, but yeah, I mean, it's good that they're doing stuff like that. I guess we need smaller studios that are doing like more interesting stuff like that. Excuse me. Next one. Robert, I actually liked Tom Cruise in the first Jack Reacher, and though him not being 6'7" tall was more reliable and made him use intelligence more. Yeah, I mean, I guess you just kind of expect Reacher to be that huge, physically imposing guy. It's kind of integral to his character, how he intimidates people and stuff. And so, yeah, to not have that, I think it just goes against it slightly. Don't mind Tom Cruise as an actor, clearly. I just think he was not right for that role. Shot John says, "Hi, Drinker. I figure you're not too big on anime, but were there any shows that you like? Also, have you heard about Odd Taxi? Despite visuals, it's as if Quentin Tarantino made an anime." I haven't heard about that. So shows, I mean, I was just banging on about Arcane with Muller recently and how good that was. So yeah, recommend that. I recommend All of Us Are Dead. That's been pretty good. So yeah, just things like that have just been out recently. I've really enjoyed. Timothy Nellison says, "Love your content, Drinker. Keep being you. And I need to recommend Midnight Mass on Netflix if you haven't seen it." I have seen it and I've reviewed it already. So yeah, you can check out my review. Rob H says, "Drinker, how are you liking Horizon?" Yeah, like I was just saying, it's been all right so far. I think it's going to be a pretty fucking massive game, so I can't fault them for ambition. Yeah, you know, some aspects of it, like there's an awful lot of strong female characters and an awful lot of weak male ones, but I'm sure that'll balance out a little bit as the game progresses. The hunting mechanics are getting a lot better. Once you upgrade your weapons, it becomes a lot easier. But yeah, like just exploring the world is good fun. Like it's visually incredible. Claudio Rogajan, the Rundown was a better Uncharted movie. Yeah. RRTNZ says, "Hail Drunkler, any chance of a Roadhouse review? Film can never be remade as no one can equal Swayze's amazing hair." Yeah, he did have very good 80s hair. Yeah, I'd like to review that. That'd be good fun. Triplod gave me $10. Cheers, man. Dubaps says, "You're a pure Jake Ball, you Raj." Thanks, man. Best name I can think of said, "Love your videos. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching The Ritual on Netflix. It's a great horror movie character study." Nice one. Darwin Evolution says, "Drinker, would you be tempted to take a massive dump on the film that not only pushes the message, but also calls critics like you out?" Yes, I'm talking about Scream, contender for worst this year. Yeah, I'll need to give it a watch. I haven't seen it yet. I was really put off by it, but yeah. Am I dying? Just my vocal cords. Like, I'm not going to be able to keep going much further on this. So I'll just get to the end of these super chats here and I'll need to finish up, sadly. What's the next one? But yeah, I'll give Scream a watch for sure just to see how fucking bad it is. Azazel the Fallen says, "Since you haven't seen that much A24 films, I highly recommend The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe." Yeah, I've seen that one and reviewed it. Really liked it. I think it's one of the best films of the past decades. That's what he was saying there. I thought it was really good. Great performances. And it shows what you can do with a film where you don't really have a defined plot. It's just all about the characters and the acting. Claudio Rogajan, you actually got me inspired to write a Deadpool one-shot story. It's probably terrible, and I've got a long way to go, but I'm having fun doing it. Good stuff. That's all you can ask, really. Dragovin08, speaking of Dark Fate, when I saw the tentacles coming out of the Rev 9s, I called them hentai Terminators for the rest of the movie. Quite right. Kyle McCrory made a drink the other day out of salted caramel liquor, and grapefruit juice. What the fuck? Tasted great. Try a citrus juice and liquor whiskey for your throat. If I could, I would leave the computer, but then you'd just be looking at an empty chair. I'm not Hassan Piker, so I'm not going to do that to you. Vincent Mice says, Drinker, can you please watch Dark? Okay. I finally managed to watch it last week. Couldn't stop. Binged it in 2 days, and now I'm depressed because it's over. I will watch Dark, I promise you. Claudio Rogajan, you think Mark Wahlberg deserved Oscar nomination for The Departed? He's barely in the movie, and he just swears and screams he's the least likable character. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg's not an actor in the conventional sense. He, like you say, in that film, he's just an asshole, and he just yells and screams through all of his scenes. He's just really angry. Like, there's no nuance to his performance. And then pretty much every other film, he's just Mark Wahlberg. Outcast Creative said, Drinkers poorly, time to rest and go away now. Yep, I'm almost there. 0 Hour Discussion says, Drinker, you should watch Ape versus Monster. Okay. Bullfireable says, Drinker, my dad and I are huge fans. Curious your thoughts around Rogue One. Wondering what you thought, or would you make a video in future? I mean, it's the least bad of all the Disney Star Wars films. It's the one that everyone just kind of forgets about now. I thought it was tolerable. Can't say much more than that about it, really. The main character is just boring as fuck. Stephen Ellis says, hello from Montrose. Great content, mate. Hello to you, man from Montrose. Laws of Assumption. Drinker, you're the best thing on YouTube. Go away now. I will be going away shortly. Cheers. Alejandro Montoya Marin says, I love your reviews. I'm an indie filmmaker. Robert Rodriguez produced my first film, an action comedy called Monday. Like to see it. 60 minutes. Nice. Cheers, man. Claudio Rogajan. Yes, Stuckman just lost his passion. It looks like it could well be. Maybe he's just doing it too long. I don't know. Galactus Chiampo gave me €5. Cheers. Lightfaster said, thank you for your recommended series. In this age of terrible entertainment, the first movies I enjoyed in a long time weren't even filmed in the last decade. Thank you for bringing them to my attention. Yeah, that's what I love doing about the Drinker Recommends, is like trying to find older stuff. And that's what I did with my Extra Shot series as well on my second channel. Just referencing films that maybe people passed by the first time, or they just didn't even know about. And it's great when people watch them and like them. Dave Banzai 55 gave me $10. Thank you, man. Azza says, ever seen People Under the Stairs? Wacky 90s film. Yeah, I have actually. It's got Ving Rhames in it, as I recall. It is absolutely bonkers, but it's good fun. It's got weird, like, comedy horror elements to it. EZ05 says, $5 if you can talk like an American accent for 30 seconds. At this point in the stream, I can barely even talk in any accent for that long. Sorry, man. Leston says, hope all is well. Do you enjoy Red Letter Media? Yeah, I do. I do enjoy them. Don't watch them so much now because I feel like they don't phone it in, but like when they're doing the half in the bag, like it's a pretty easy way of making content. Like literally just you and your mate just sit down and spraff about a movie for like half an hour, and someone edits it together to get the best bits. Like, I mean, I'm not knocking their insight into films and stuff. It's just not always the most engaging content to watch. Multi-Topic Talk says, I once heard you praising Atomic Blonde. I didn't find any videos from you about the movie. What are your thoughts on Atomic Blonde? I never got around to reviewing it yet, but I have referenced the fight scenes in it as being one of the few times where you've got a man versus woman fight that actually looks plausible. I thought Charlize Theron was really good in it. let down by a slightly shitty plot towards the end, but from a fight choreography point of view, it was great. William Wright says, you watched Last Kingdom? Final season coming out soon. Can't wait. Nice to see a competent male character as the lead. Lots of likable, smart characters. Like I said before, I'd watched bits of it. First, I think 3 or 4 episodes. Just didn't quite grab me. Matthew Docherty. No way this man's an alcoholic. He's too beautiful. Thanks. Well, I'm sober-ish tonight, so it makes a change. La Parca said, favorite Scorsese film? Whoa, Christ. Now you're asking. Gangs in New York was really fucking good. That would probably be my top one, I would say. He's done so fucking many, though. Piano Dean says, Drinker, did you ever see Let Me In? It's my favorite vampire film. Is that the one I'm thinking of? I think I'm thinking of one, but I suspect it's 30 Days of Night. So let me see if I remember this one. So, Let Me In. I don't think I have seen this one. No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. So, yeah, I like 30 Days of Night, though. Just as a total random aside. Galactus Campiano says, hi, Drinker, love from Italy. Thank you. I wrote a comic about cancel culture. FB Mosey's Comics. I'd love to send you a translated copy. Give me an address. I mean, I don't have a PO box at the moment, mate, so I can't give you that one. Yeah, Kingsman. I'm watching it at the moment. I got about halfway through it before I had to start this stream, so I'm liking it so far. Oh yeah, Bird Up saying, anyone recommended Dark yet? Just kidding. Awesome show though. Ellie's gay, by the way. Thanks, man. Big Daddy MRI says, have you been talking about starting up the movie adaptation of the Ryan Drake series? I know the virus of unknown origin blocked the movie, but do you know when they might start up filming? Yeah, like I was saying just there, they're hopeful they're going to start filming this summer because, yeah, like they got totally derailed by the virus, and it adds a lot to the budget when you've got to try and incorporate that in your shooting schedule. So they just said, like, no, forget it and wait until it's over. And now it kind of is. So hopefully they'll get it done. Yeah. Felix Rodier says, hey, Drinker, love you and the channel. Thoughts on The Faculty? Yeah, that was the alien invasion thing. Robert Rodriguez and stars a young Elijah Wood. Yeah, I quite like that movie, actually. Yeah. Tyrion Beard says, rumors suggest you made it out with Queen Elizabeth last week. Cough, cough. Pixar, it didn't happen. I can't swear to it. She's 95 and the coof is an STD now. She'll be fine. She's rich and she's got like the best doctors on the planet. Zimzilla99 says, Drinker, will you be playing Elden Ring when that comes out this Friday? I'm deep into Horizon Forbidden West, so I don't think I'll have time for that, mate. Stephen Iho says, hello, Drinker. I watched Shooter some days ago and I thought it was a fun movie. My question, what are your thoughts about this movie? So is that the sniper one? Shooter. It's got Mark Wahlberg, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so he's like the most insanely talented sniper on the planet that can snipe people from like 10 miles away. I thought it was all right. It's a Mark Wahlberg movie, but it was okay. The Batman 2022 said, should Star Wars be sold to another studio? Yeah, just get it away from Disney. Steppenwolf says, one super chat to rule them all. Cough. Yeah. BMB Studios, who's funnier, Chrissy Meyer or Chrissy Meyer's boobs on Twitter? Yeah, they've become sentient and self-aware. Yeah, Chrissy Meyer's great. She's really good fun to talk to. And it's good fun going on her stream. Stephen Anderson says, have you or will you review District 9? I talked about it once on my top last stands in movies. But yeah, overall it's a great film and I'd love to talk about it properly. Nicholas Crawford, would you have a conversation with Lauren Faust? Who's that? Hold on. Let me just check. Who the hell are you? I don't know. I mean, yes, what, she worked on the Powerpuff Girls. What's she done recently? DC Superhero Girls Kid Cosmic. Meh. I don't know, man. I don't know what I could say to her. Unimpressed Owl said, "How come you've never talked about Xena, especially with how much you criticize modern female action heroes?" Yeah, well, reviewing an entire TV show is a bit of a more difficult prospect, you know. But yeah, I watched quite a bit of Xena back in the day. I don't think I finished it and got right to the end, but yeah, she was a great character for back in the day. Obviously, they didn't have the best budget, but they made up with a lot of the character work. But yeah, I should talk about it more. Night King 01 says, "Drinker, I'm shooting you an email so you know it's important, but not really. Also, watch North by Northwest. Incredible." Yeah, I've seen that. Great film. Frosty Film Watcher says, "Hey, Drinker, you're the goats of movie reviewers. Thank you very much. Do you think Thor Love and Thunder will be shite?" Yeah, absolutely. Scott Fisher, Nathan Fillion should have been Nathan Drake. Yeah, when they did that fan movie, he was awesome in it. He's 50 now, though, so he's probably a bit too old. Eric Demoya says, please review the Coen brothers movies. What, all of them? Christ, that's going to take a while. Andrew Pullman says, "Drinker, your voice is getting more worn out and overused than the word racist in 2022. Please get some rest." I will. I'm almost done. Claudia Rogajan, when's your next Patreon stream? It'll probably be in the next week or two, I would think. Yeah, I want to get done, like one done before we get into March. So I'll try and fit that in. But yeah, I know I need to do another one. It'd be good to do it again. Homerostasis says, "It's been a while since I've watched it, but have you watched Last Action Hero? If you did, thoughts?" Yeah, it was kind of ahead of its time, that movie. It's a shame it was so goofy in places. You know, and they went totally over the score with the parody stuff. It would have been better if it had been more subtle. But yeah, I did quite like it. Yeah, I like the fact that Arnold's willing to make fun of himself as well. It would be an interesting movie to review now, actually, in retrospect. And here's one. Was Snowpiercer the sequel to Willy Wonka? That was from Joseph L. Yeah, I saw the movie not that long ago, actually. I've not seen the TV show, which is meant to be better. But yeah, the film was fucking crap. Chris Evans just not acting up a storm. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird movie. Especially when you get to the end and you've got like kids working inside the train, and they don't really explain how the thing functions as an ecosystem. But yeah, that I think is it. I made it to the end. I can't do any more super chats because my voice is failing me. Yeah, I had no idea that so many people would super chat me tonight, but thank you guys. I appreciate your generosity as always. I'm going to take a rest for a day or two, and hopefully I'll be able to talk again for the open bar stream on Thursday. But yeah, for now at least, that is all I've got for today, and that's all I can say for today. So go away now.